Hello, hello all. How are you this fine evening? It is Monday night and it is a Spork of Ice and Fire. And we have a fun show tonight. With George not finishing the damn books. We don't have a lot of new things to talk about, either, his 9 projects for Max, you do have that. But we decided tonight we're going to talk about the man with the most one of the most honorable men in the Seven Kingdoms, maybe in all of Planetos, all Westeros, Essos, but maybe the biggest moron. His name is Ned Stark, and we're going to talk about his mistakes and which ones we think are the biggest mistakes, because he made many. Ned Stark made many mistakes from Jump Street. So we're going to discuss that, but with us tonight to start off the eve, we have the illustrious Aussie from Down Under. I was going to say Chris, but I don't know why I said you first. I saw your face. Illustrious.
Illustrious. Okay, well.
Yeah, Mr. Grant Gregory.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty illustrious today. Quite sexy as well. So yeah, happy to be here and talk about Ned the dickhead.
Yeah. I mean, it's all his fault. Teresa, you are definitely one that's read the beginning, the couple, first 2 books?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes. So you know how much of a moron he is. He's like a lovable character, and it's one of the greatest. You want to talk about, subverting expectation or whatever we always talk about with movies nowadays. But George really did it. He took the idea of the hero and flipped it on us, of what a protagonist really is for his story. So, what do you think about the whole Ned Stark saga in Game of Thrones?
Well, for starters, you can describe him as a man who is the right man for the wrong time.
Ooh, I like that. Can you dive into that a little bit? Because I like what you mean there. Maybe not even the right time, like the right man for the job. Yeah, but the wrong time. Yeah, you're right.
It's like, for example, if he'd maybe been the hand of a king under a different king, or if he had lived in a different era, an era of maybe where there was more peace, where there was even a bland kind of kingdom under a king where things were just chill and nothing exciting was really happening.
Right.
And he could have sat around and just been who he was, raised his family, had one of his kids join the White Cloaks, married off Sansa to some nice guy. And his wife, she would have just...
She eventually married a nice guy.
Yeah, his wife should be dead anyways. You know what? Add something to that too, Teresa. He didn't even have to be in a peaceful time. If it was a time of straight, this is us and we're battling them, Ned Stark is great. It's the behind the scenes Game of Thrones that he wasn't good at.
Correct.
So even if he was in the Blackfire rebellions, he would have been a great hand of the king. But you're so right. He was the wrong man right man, but for the wrong time. Maybe even better for like Jahari's the first. Wow, that's a really good way of putting it. I never thought of it that way.
Okay, well, I've kind of ripped it off from some of my historical studies, so
Yeah,
it's not just me, because he's somewhat similar to St. Thomas More, who also ended up under the Axemen's.
The Axemen's head.
Yeah, he ended up dying because, again, he was too honorable for his own time, in the sense of, because he was one of those that remained faithful to the church during Henry VIII and stuff, and everyone was like, dude, just say he's head of the Church of England, it doesn't matter. And he ended up dying and losing everything in his family and all of that. And so sometimes people have said that if he had been the Lord Chancellor, kind of like the hand of the king during that time in England, and a different time in England, rather, maybe it would have been very different. Now, from a spiritual point of view, everyone's like, but yes, integrity. But in the Game of Thrones,
he lost.
Yeah.
Well,
integrity gets you dead.
Exactly.
Well, that too. But
in real life as well, but yes.
Right. And the problem is it's not even just him. Like, both men, it affected their generations of their family. I mean, it affected everybody. not just them. You
Yeah.
know? Well, you know what? Before we get into it, let's say hi to the chat. We have one of our friends, Mason from Free Folk of the Fandom. He couldn't be here tonight. Mason is OG, original Sporker. He's been with us on these since the beginning. So, guys, please make sure you subscribe to his channel because he's below 100 on YouTube. And it's kind of embarrassing that I've never pushed enough for him because the guy deserves it. He's a good dude. So please, let's get him to 100 so he can stream live and do all that good stuff from his phone if he wants to. I think that's what 100 does. We also have who? Keck44. Keck is always supporting the channel. Thank you very much, Keck. Tina Bojan's not feeling good tonight. She's a channel member. Thank you, Tina. Channel members, I am going to try to do a stream sometime this week. It might be last minute, but I'm going to do it. And it's just going to be one of those things where I like to discuss with my channel members where they want the channel to go. You know, which streams are they enjoying? Which ones aren't they? And where we can change some stuff up. I also am starting a new channel. It's called Sporking Records, and it's going to be a music channel. I like to talk music. So it'll be like Beatles heavy. Sorry, people. But 90s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And then I like to do things I've never listened to before. So if there's younger viewers, give me some new music. I'll go over it because I don't think, personally for me, I don't think there's any good like alternative or rock out there anymore. So prove me wrong. So I'll share that out once I really got the channel going. But yeah, keep an eye on that one. Who else do we have out here? I thought I saw one other person, but we have 10 people watching on YouTube and a few others over on Rumble. So thank you guys. Let's talk Ned Stark. I did want to see if there was any House of the Dragons updates, but you know, I don't think we've learned a lot about what's going on. I think they said summer next year, early summer, we'll probably get it. But George Martin has like 8 other things he's working on too. So do not expect to get, you know, anything that we really want. I don't know about you guys, but it's aggravating. It's quite aggravating.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm at the point now where I'm like, well, I'm going to read the AI version of the book.
Right.
It's nowhere near as good, but at least it's something.
Yeah.
It's it's bad. It's so bad.
Yeah,
It's still better than season 8.
The only thing we're getting this year, I believe, I don't know if this came out yet, but it's I think we're getting the Rise of the Dragon and illustrated history of Targaryen dynasty. That's the only thing we have solid. And right now it's $24.11 for 60% off. I'm looking up stuff. Teresa, like it's just aggravating all the stuff he's working on, and he tries to tell us he's working on the book. I don't know how people could be so he has the most supportive fandom because the majority of the fandom just supports him blindly, and there's like the smaller groups of us that just can't stand it.
Yep. Well, he would do better, to be honest, to not even mention Winds of Winter. Just don't even mention it. No jokes, no nothing.
Right.
And just say the next time I'm going to mention the Winds of Winter is when I announce the release date.
Yep.
And then
shut
he
up.
never does.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
he hasn't broken his word.
Exactly. Because you see, that's the thing. I think a lot of people can forgive many, many, many things. But being lied to, oh, hell no. Or being effed around with, or having people deliberately, and he knows he's doing it on purpose at this point. He knows it's actually hurtful to his fandom.
Yep.
That's something people can't forgive.
He just doesn't care anymore. He's got to the point where he's old enough, he's rich enough, and he just doesn't give a shit anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's blogging again. I mean, he has done this for years, but he's blogging about football. You know, like just stupid stuff. Or, you know, not Artemis Day. That's not stupid. But like, it's like, come on, man. Just blog about something we care about and not, you know, what is that other one? Wild Cards or something like that. Just give us a true update. Let me like really know what's going on. Because it's aggravating. It's aggravating.
Yeah. It's never okay to punish your fans.
Right.
And that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing at this point. And I cannot help but just compare him to Robert Jordan, Brandon Sanderson. I mean, Robert Jordan was dying. He was literally dying of a painful, painful illness. and finishing up the story as much as he could and leaving behind as much as he could for the fans.
Yep.
And then this guy, we should have known. Maybe we should have known since he was a Hollywood writer. He was always Hollywood.
Yes. You know what, Teresa? That's a perfect way of putting it. I mean, long before Beauty and the Beast and stuff, he was writing some small sci-fi stuff, things people enjoyed, a lot of hive mind stuff, things that filtered its way into A Song of Ice and Fire. That's why there are people out there that believe it's actually sci-fi and not fantasy. But that whole time he was working through Hollywood, and then he got on Beauty and the Beast, and he understands the game, and he knows the money is in being a executive producer of a show and not writing books, even though his next book would sell, I mean, literally physical copies, I would say, are in the hundreds of thousands. Easy, because people want to hold his. He's one of the last writers that you want to hold his book. You want to actually not listen to it. You want to go through it so you can, mark under it and see back to page 56 because he's, I don't know.
It would very likely be the last book we all line up for at midnight, the way we did for the Harry Potter books, the way I did for the Twilight books. But I'm not ashamed. I did it.
Thank you for
but
being honest.
It's, I don't know. Did you ever do that for the Harry Potter ones?
I got into Harry Potter, the books, later. So the last one came out and I think I was only on book 3. So like I was into the fury of it. Like I thought it was awesome, but literally I just read those books straight through.
Oh, you have no idea about
that must have been awesome
until you do. And we all went to the Barnes and Noble. There was a big party. We were there for 5 hours. The party started. And then when midnight came, everyone just grabbed their book and ran for their cars. It was just insane.
Yeah, I had one of my friends who I was living with at the time. She lined up to get the book at midnight. I come out to her at 6 o'clock in the morning. She's bawling her eyes out, and they're like, "They killed Dumbledore," and she lost it. I had no idea what it was at that stage. So,
it's I'm trying to think anything that's like that now, and really it's like iPhones. People get in line for iPhones. I like what Mason says here. Brandon Sanders was only supposed to write the last Wheel of Time book, but Robert Jordan left him so many outlines that ending up writing 3 of them.
Well, you want to know what the weird thing about it is? Robert Jordan, since his death, has released the same amount of books as what George R.R. Martin has. 1.
Wow.
Wait a minute, say that again?
He died in 2008.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Oh, it was that late.
So
okay.
Only one book, the last book that he wrote came out after his death. Since his death, he's written the same amount of books in his series as George has.
That's insane. That's insane.
He's dead and he's done more for his fans.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, well, you think I know it. If you do follow Brandon Sanderson, you just see his YouTube channel, his website, his social media presence. And then when that one guy did that hit piece on him last year, it was just an awful article. And he said that the thing that made him really want to come out and say some things about it was this guy dissing the fans. He said, that's the part that hurt me. Because, the guy was making fun of him, making fun of his religion, making, he's fat, he's all these things. But he was like, but he made fun of the fans. And he said, the fans don't deserve that. That's the man. I haven't read one of his books yet because I'm not finished with The Wheel of Time. But I like him.
Yeah.
Because he treats his fans well. And I love his YouTube channel. It's great.
And that's it right there. He respected us. I didn't realize he had a YouTube channel. That's awesome to know.
Oh yeah, he just talks about writing and stuff. It's not just about his things. He'll interview different authors. He'll talk about AI, for example. He will talk about all sorts of things. It's just so fascinating.
That is interesting. So one book. They both have one book. That is insane. That's still bouncing in my head. Like what? That is insane. Dude. That is insane. I don't even know what to think. I respect, like you just said, Teresa, I respect authors that respect the fandom, because without us, George wouldn't have any of this. Like no one was like praising him. Like, yeah, he might have won something for Beauty and the Beast, but he didn't have the rabid following he has with the fandom even before Game of Thrones came out. Like I think I read book 1 before the first season of Game of Thrones because my someone told my wife I would like it at the time we were dating, and she bought it for me for like that Christmas before the show came out. So I read
that's why you married her. I get it now.
Pretty much. Even though she hates all this stuff, like she supports it. So Mrs. Spork bought me that. I read it, and I am not a strong reader, and I couldn't put it down, and finished it quicker than most books I would read that are half the size, and it got me into reading. Like saying, like the idea that, okay, if there is something I like, I do like reading. I had that high school, college mentality where I hated reading because they would make you read stuff. But it's nice once you find something you enjoy, it's good to read. You're welcome, kids. That's my PSA for the day.
And also, I think if the book ever does come out, I think one thing that people are going to have a hard time realizing is that we had one of the best voice actors that did the narration for the audiobooks in Roy Dotrice.
Yep.
He was so good. He embodies all the characters so well.
He does.
So
really, yeah.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have to find someone else now as well for that.
Well, who would be good? I think he did he didn't do the books, but he did like those added like if you bought Game of Thrones DVD set 1, he did like the added stuff. It was the guy who played the series in the original Game of Thrones. I'm forgetting his name. Danny's brother.
Oh yeah. He's in Counterpart.
Yeah, he would be awesome reading the book. Like if they got him for audio, I would totally dig it.
Any Brit would be great.
Yeah, he definitely has that awesome voice. Like if I can find something, I'll play it before we leave. It's really cool listening to him narrate like the history of Westeros. I think he would do a great job. But you're right, like the voices that oh my god, I just blanked on his name.
Roy Dotrice.
Oh my god, I can never say his name. Roy. I'll just say Roy. He played every part, and it wasn't out of this world, but it was. You could tell he did it because he loved reading like books. He loved doing the narrations, and it was awesome listening to him do it. And I also learned how to like say some of their names because I didn't realize, who knows how to pronounce like Viserys or like
yeah, because I always thought it was Viserys for some reason in my head. That's how I was saying it was Viserys.
Well, a lot of people said Cersei like differently. Like that's one I got right. I think I said Daenerys wrong. I probably said most of them wrong if they weren't simple like Ned, Rob. You ever notice like the northern houses have short, like, because it's like no nonsense. We're in the north. It's going to snow. We don't have time for these like frilly names. It's like Rob, Bran. Like if we have 2 syllables, it's a big thing. Brandon, like Arya, Sansa. It's all, and that's more, Caitlyn or Catelyn Stark, Yeah, Hodor. It's just because he says it, Nan. Hey, baby. How's your daughter doing, buddy?
You can have a drink of water, Don. I'll get you one in a second. You say hello to Sporking?
Hello, Sporky.
I love that.
Oh, the cute accent.
I just love when she says, hello, Sporky. I don't know why, because it's not the same country, but like it's like Peppa Pig. It's just that perfect, like, hello.
Yeah, well, she says hello like a little pom. So, you want some more water? All right, I'll go get you some water. I'll be back in a minute,
you
guys.
go get some water.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so I don't know. We're never going to get the books. I really hope we get Winds of Winter, but Dream of Spring, I think you have a point, Teresa. It's going to be somebody most likely finishing it for him. I almost feel like he's too arrogant of a person to give somebody the right to do it.
The people that I know that know him have said that he has said no.
How can you do that to your fandom? I mean,
he doesn't care.
No. And I love his writing too. I just love it. He gives me the picture in my mind. Like literally the scene, everybody's colors, their eye. Like, I know it's important in his writing. Like, people don't realize how important if he's telling you somebody's eye color, there's a reason, like there's a reason he's explaining the style or what's on their, their shirt or what they're wearing, because it comes back later. Like, if a lot of people didn't realize that when you read the prologue of Game of Thrones, the description of the Night's Watchman who fights the others at the beginning, it sounds just like you're describing Jon Snow. And it's almost like from the jump, the White Walkers were looking for him. And that's why when he draws his sword, they're kind of fearful, because they believe he will have like a powerful sword to fight them. But whatever,
Yeah. However, never say never.
Right.
Because maybe his state will be screw him.
Well, that's what I'm trying to wonder. I've been thinking about that too. Like, is there any way, even if he's like, in a will, I don't want anybody finishing this, there has to be a way around it, right? Come on.
And he might have changed his mind, because I believe when he said it, that was quite a long time ago.
That was like 20 years.
So he probably was thinking, I'm going to finish it. So.
I would think that's about now, maybe 10 to 15 years ago, because I remember him saying that. Now that you said it, and I want to say it was a couple years after Dance with Dragons came out.
Yep.
And people were starting to think, oh, this 6-year-old guy is getting up there in age. Well, now he's 70, like 4 or something, and not the picture of health. So he's in my prayers every day. Soul Assassin, what's up, my brother? Spork sent you a video of the series guy reading. Thank you, man. I'm going to share that right now. See, he is the king of mods for a reason. And I really appreciate, I love this fandom. All right, let's see. Let me pause it. Okay.
Yeah,
his name is Harry, though.
Speaking of which, yes. Dun, dun, dun.
I know. I have to remember to share it to this also and show you guys. All right. Hopefully someone doesn't try to hit us for some stupid copyright thing. Let's give a shout out to Primrose Path of Delliance? I don't know. But thank you, Primrose. I'll give you a like. Thank you very much.
I played Viserys Targaryen on the hit TV show Game of Thrones. Now I narrate audiobooks. Chapter 1. Bran. The morning had dawned clear and cold, with a crispness that hinted at the end of summer.
I didn't know he did books already. Holy crap. This is awesome. Oh, this is AI doing it. Oh, Harry Lloyd doing AI. Okay. My bad.
They set forth at daybreak to see a man beheaded, 20 in all, and Bran rode among them, nervous with excitement.
Teresa, you're
This
right.
was the first time he had been deemed old enough to go with his lord father and his brothers to see the king's justice done. It was the 9th year of summer, and the 7th of Bran's life. The man had been taken outside a small holdfast in the hills. Robb thought he was a wildling, his sword sworn to Mance Rayder, the king beyond the wall.
I mean, that's AI and it's still
No. I have his Game of Thrones, the Knights of the Seven Kingdom audiobook.
Okay, I know he did one. I didn't think he did anything in the main story.
No. What I'm saying is it sounds like him, but it doesn't sound like how he narrates.
Right. He really gets into the. We got to. If you can find one that actually has him, the lovely Jane Theory. Hi, Jane. Love you, buddy.
Hello, Jane.
Hello, Jane. Jane Theory of America.
You want to jump on and talk about Ned's mistakes?
I already asked. She has things she has to do. Jane will join us when she can. And
I know, but if I keep asking her, one day she might say yes.
Or she'll never show up in the chat again.
That's all right. I'm not going to do it on my channel.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Oh, my gosh.
You jerk. Thank God we're lagging a lot. All right, so yeah, let's get into it now that Jane's in the chat. And there's other people here. Let's start talking Ned Stark's biggest mistakes. Now, I brought up a couple articles, but before I bring them out to pinpoint some, because there are a lot, man. There really are a lot. I mean, you could start from the very beginning, what they were just reading about, how the brother from the Night's Watch deserted, and he was trying to tell Ned Stark that the others are back. And this guy, you could tell he is He is not BSing. He believes what he's saying. And, you know, Ned Stark, being like the man of reason he is, just chops the kid's head off and doesn't listen to him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's. I mean, if you want to start at the first mistake, definitely chronologically, what we see, that's easily one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Teresa, what do you think? I mean, that's the first thing we hear of him, right? That's
correct.
Yeah.
But on the other hand,
Mhm.
since he didn't know what was going to happen, it made perfect sense. Like, okay, this coward, you know, he's just babbling, whatever, screw him.
Mhm.
He's supposed to be executed. So he's going to be executed, and I'm going to be the one to do it rather.
Hey!
Yeah, the whole
What's
story
up?
just changed.
That makes sense. That's why he was bent over the log.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
no.
changes everything. I thought he meant when he slayed him, he, you know, cut his head off, but I guess he slayed him. All right.
Oh no, I didn't mean it. I don't know why it slipped out like that.
Oh, that's what he said. What?
I mean, technically it wasn't a mistake because he didn't know.
Right.
If we could look back in hindsight, we know because we have the God's eye view. But
Right.
what weren't we talking in the chat that the problem, his biggest mistake came earlier, was marrying Catelyn?
Huge. That is huge. You know,
But
you're
also not
absolutely
his
right.
choice. It was the
Right.
right thing to do because it's like, hey, you're going to marry this chick because your brother died.
Right. Well, and not just because your brother died. It's because if you didn't, you would lose the support of the Riverlands in the war to come. So that was understandable. It was actually probably one of the best decisions he made, and worst things that happened to him.
Because she screwed everything up.
I still have people that defend her, and I just don't know how.
Even after she died.
Yeah, like
Oh, she's screwed. So she sucks when she's dead.
yeah.
Too.
I mean, actually, oh yeah, you don't even know. Yeah,
I don't know Lady Stoneheart.
Okay, Lady Stoneheart at least is a cooler character, but I mean, you know, she does what Ned told her not to do, you know, and she reacts with feeling, and she takes Tyrion Lannister in this big, huge, like, you know, almost like a pageant way, or like, you know, so everybody knows, you know, all these different people are at the inn by the crossroads. And, you know, she makes this huge speech, you know, if you are, you know, this house and that house, and I've known your father, and if you are Tully men, you will stand and arrest this man. You know, like, she makes sure that everybody knows, so it gets back to, you know, the Lannisters, which you don't want to pick a fight with those lunatics.
No.
But she does. She does. Everything she you know, and that's the one thing, Ned knows war. Everything he tells Kat to tell Rob and what to do was the right thing to do when he sends her back to Winterfell, and she does everything that he says not to do. Like, she just does the opposite. Actually, I'm going to
That's the reason why they call her, like, Caitlin the cunt.
Oh man, I didn't hear that one, but I agree with it. Yeah, I'm going to look that up real quick, because that, like, what he tells her to do, it's unbelievable how she just doesn't listen to him. But what do you think? Let me ask you guys right off the rip. Grant, we'll start with you. What do you think was his biggest mistake?
Well, I've got a couple of things that I've written down.
Okay.
But the biggest one for me, 100% has to be warning Cersei.
Right. That is the biggest mistake. Yep.
Because it's something that he did not out of strategy, but out of emotion. He took all his logic and strategy out of it because she's a mother.
Yeah. And he didn't realize that, you know, one thing, you know, you can say what you want about Kat, but Kat is a mother. And everything she does, she thinks of her children first. If we're talking book Cersei, she is a sociopath. She doesn't give a shit about her kids. You know?
Yeah. Well, not just that. It's not that so much that he told her. It's that he told her and did nothing for the next 2 days. Like, if you're going to let her know, you let her know just before it's too late. Like,
right. Teresa, what do you think?
Well, I was going to say that is easily the biggest mistake. Not only telling her, but he should have gotten his girls and fecked off with them.
Yeah.
And said, screw it, we're going. Don't cross, go.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yep. I believe one of the biggest mistakes was not getting his girls out first before he even let on that he knew anything.
Yeah.
You know, like you put your daughters, you know they're in a den of lions. You know they are. And still you have like this like weird idea that because your friend Robert was the king, when he dies, everything's going to be, still civil. It's ridiculous. You're about to tell everyone that his son is a bastard. Like, doesn't make sense.
He made the mistake of thinking that they had the same morality as he did. They had the same worldview as he did. They had the same sense of honor he did.
Yep.
And even Cersei's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Are you
he's like, oh, thank you, you dickhead.
Yeah.
Like Ned's not someone who's ignorant of history as well. He would already know that there would have been a big problem with, I don't know, maybe an heir not being legitimate.
Right. I mean, go back to the second king or the third king of the nation of the Seven Kingdoms. After 1 and 2, it starts to get bloody.
Just the fact
when
that
was
she
the
was
first,
sleeping
actually,
with someone.
That's an interesting side question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
That Ned at that time in history and everything, he wouldn't have actually probably known that because George hadn't written it yet.
That's a
so
good
he
question.
Might not, yeah,
I mean,
would he have wrote that with that in mind?
I think Danny says something about being of the same bloodline as Maegor the Cruel. So he had Maegor already in his head because I think when she's outside the walls of Karth, she makes a comment about being, Targaryen, the same as the Conqueror and Maegor the Cruel. And because, he's, a lot of people think he's like the most violent and worst king they had, but he actually did the things he did.
He was one of the smartest one. He saved him from the Sept.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Absolutely. But let me read this real quick. So this is when Ned sends Kat, he's sending her back north. Ned turned back to his wife. Once you are home, send word to Helman Tallhart and Galbert Glover under my seal. They are to raise 100 bowmen each and fortify Moat Cailin. For you people that might not know, Moat Cailin is really the only way to get from southern Westeros to the north of Westeros. It's everything else is the neck, which is swampland and this and that. Moat Cailin pretty much is the funnel. 200 determined archers can hold the neck against an army. Instruct Lord Manderley that he is to strengthen and repair all his defenses at White Harbor and see that they are well manned. And from this day on, I want a careful watch kept over Theon Greyjoy. If there is war, we shall have sore need of his father's fleet. Like, the man, when it comes to war, he is smart.
Yep.
He is smart. But the Game of Thrones, hell no. I don't know.
This is where a sexist comment would be appropriate.
Well, please throw it in there.
Never leave it to a woman.
No, man, you are right. Zax, what's up, man? You want to jump on? No, never. You never jump on because you hate us. Jane said, Ned knows war, but not court politics. Yes, he probably should have sent her to King's Landing. You know what? Instead of Ned going, Kat would have probably done a better job. He should have brought the whole family because she would have saw this stuff.
Littlefinger would have been happier.
Hell yeah. And probably wouldn't have screwed over the Starks with her there. But she would have saw stuff coming.
Yeah. She would see things because she's not trustworthy. She knows, put it this way, she's not trustworthy of her own husband, which everyone says is the most trustworthy person on the planet. What's she going to be like when she's literally going into, a sea of snakes?
That's true.
She's going to be on the lookout for everything.
Yeah.
And women know. She would have known right away. She would have read Cersei. Well, I think she already did, but she would have seen it and she would have gotten those daughters out of there. She'd have said, screw you all, we're going.
Yeah, she would have never let him.
Something's wrong with Cersei. And she's like, what do you mean? She didn't finish her tea.
Yeah, right.
Like, what does that mean? What?
She would have been like, Ned, I will kill you if you warn her. I will murder you right now if you warn her because we're all dead if you do. Like, she knows better. But Ned, I don't know, this idea that, and it's not a sexist thing, it's more of we are civil, You know, we had our war because the Mad King was crazy, killing people for no reason, and we did this together. And even though I don't trust the Lannisters because they waited so long to switch sides and they killed, you know, the young Targaryens, I still don't think they're capable of killing me over this. Like, they murdered babies. You know, like Joffrey.
I don't know. They murdered the last bloke in the exact same position you were after he discovered the exact same thing.
Right. Yes. You know, I mean, well, they didn't murder John Aaron. So, I mean, we're made to think that, but it wasn't. It was definitely Littlefinger and what's her name?
Batshit crazy.
Batshit crazy. That's her name. Batshit crazy Catelyn.
Also known as Mother of the Year.
Yeah, Mother of the Year. I mean, that kid definitely has his vitamin D. Ayo. I like Jane says, what's his biggest mistake? Leaving the North. You could sum it all up into that. You really can. I mean, he should have took his wife's advice and not left. You know, that she says it right to him. You know, you don't know this Robert. You knew Robert years ago. You don't know King Robert. And she was right.
Is your cat near your microphone?
I thought that was somebody else's cat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Teresa, you have a cat?
Sorry, my cat came in and started yelling at me. So
it's okay. I thought it was mine. I have like.
I heard it, but Scott didn't react to it, so I'm like,
yeah. I never had
in your lap.
Well, because I kind of thought maybe he was under me, one of them. So like, I am not a cat person, and I have 3 of them. You know, it is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I want a dog. I'm not getting one, I guess. Yeah, Adam Price, 100%. Him not taking the throne, like I know he was going to go in there and like take Joffrey. He should have just took the throne, and you know figured it out from there.
Yeah, well, that's what Renly suggested anyway. Renly, yeah. So that's another one. So refusing Renly's offer.
Yeah, refusing. Damn, I didn't even think about that one before. Yeah, I mean, look at Stannis. He knows Stannis well. He knows he's an honorable man. He's a man of, you know, like of rules and the way it's supposed to be. And the minute something happened, he took off. He left the kingdom. You know what I mean? Like Ned should have realized shit's gonna go down.
Not only that, like when he finally decided to do something towards Stannis, it was already too late. He should have trusted him earlier. Like if he was the guy that should have always been the one, he should have been the first person that was contacted.
You're right. And thank you, Zombie Box Reviews. Oh, yes, Mad Cheesemo.
What was up? He stayed the hell away.
Yeah. The biggest mistake Ned made was being played by Sean Bean. That guy dies and everything.
That's true. Also, Mad, check your DM. See if you got the thing I sent you.
And does Mad cover this stuff?
I'm not sure.
Matt, if you read it, you can join us. And Zach hasn't even responded. You know, I said, hey, Zach, you want to join us?
I'll get you a pair.
Doesn't even say anything.
Back in a minute.
I want a pair, Daddy. Can I have some more? More? What movie?
Well, you're talking Oliver Twist.
Yeah.
Never before has a boy asked for more.
Yes.
There was a poem we had to do back when I was a little kid.
See, I've never read the book once again because I'm not that guy. I watched the movie though, the musical where it's like pick a pocket or two.
Yeah, Food, Glorious Food. Yeah, I played in that. I was Charlotte.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Was crazy. I was batshit crazy. Yeah, I abused Oliver. I beat him.
Yeah, but doesn't she get? She gets spoiler for Oliver Twist. Everybody, doesn't she get killed at the end by that one dude?
No, that's Nancy. Charlotte was a chick who was the girlfriend of the mean guy when he was a chimney sweep.
Yeah.
Or Undertaker, rather.
Right. Okay.
So it was a small world, but
yeah.
And then I was forced. But I digress.
Now, we always do. Zax has a good point, but we don't know. I mean, book-wise, we don't know if this is true yet. Ned also had a secret Targaryen he didn't play. You know, valid point. I think that was one of his biggest mistakes. You're leaving for the North and the boy is going to take the Black. And you literally, it's almost like he wanted him to take the Black before he knew he had a right to the throne.
Yeah.
Which is messed up.
Which is, completely messed up. But there is the thing that he could be going, well, if he's up there and he's taking the black, he's already essentially in jail. If they find out about him, he's safe there. But if he's anywhere else, he can't really be protected.
Yeah.
Right.
So in a way, he saved his life from a certain point of view.
He did. And I understand why he did what he did. But he gave the boy no chance to choose his own path. Like, literally, the kid had more right than anyone after Robert died with no true heir. Only bastards, which,
Allegedly.
you know, I always wondered if Joffrey knew he was a bastard because he had all those bastards murdered. I'm pretty sure it's Joffrey that did it. Everyone thought it was Cersei, but it was Joffrey who gave the command.
Mm-hmm.
There was like 23 of them, and it was really only 3 that got away. Gendry. Oh my God, I could never say his name. The blacksmith kid that Arya likes.
Gendry.
Okay, I feel like I'm always saying it wrong. You also have Eric Storm, I believe.
I've been calling him Gendry.
It's Gendry or Gendry, either or.
The Australian's probably right.
Yeah, he probably is. That
Yeah.
Well, we don't know how to speak English here in America.
We don't. We speak Americanese. Thank you very much. You have Eric. I think it's Eric Storm, who is that Stannis almost, wants to kill for his king's blood. And then you have a girl in the Eyrie, Maya Stone, I think. So there's a couple that lived, but he had all the other ones killed. How do you know they didn't? How do you know they aren't? I mean, put it this way, Jane, and Jane's saying, I'm still mad that Gendry and Arya didn't get married. Let's say, God forbid, something happens to the writer and he doesn't finish the books. God forbid, Jane. Headcanon, they got married.
Yeah. Well,
he's at home being a house husband while she's out sailing the seas.
Yep. Hot Pie should have been made king. No, but he definitely should be the head of the kitchen. I think that is. So, all right. Look, I'm getting off topic now. All right. So we're going to go through some of these. I'm going to bring up, let's see, which article first.
How did Ned suck? Let us count the ways.
Eddard Stark's 10 worst decisions. Let's see if we agree with this. It is from CBR, so you never know.
This is from Tom.
I don't know Tom. Do you know Tom?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
Is he our guy? Or is he like...
No.
Worst thing he did was he didn't, use their right pronoun. All right. So number 10, Ned agreed to be Robert's hand and went with him to King's Landing. I mean, I guess that really could be number 1.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. We don't know how bad it would have gotten. The King's traveled all the way up there, and you refuse him?
It could have started a war.
Yeah, I mean, that's treason, essentially.
But see, that's the thing. It's so weird because doesn't Cat tell him he shouldn't go, but then he also shouldn't refuse a king?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't refuse a king.
Right.
Cat says you shouldn't go, and you shouldn't refuse him. You're like, thanks for that. You're really helpful. I'm glad you're here.
Can I be the hand? Can we make can I be the hand from I'll go as low as the neck? I'll do it.
You can be the cupbearer.
Yeah. I don't know. Robert, maybe Ned or, John Aaron was down there, so Ned never probably realized. So that's another thing on John Aaron, not really keeping Ned in the loop. But maybe Ned shouldn't have gone back north for as long as he did. Maybe once his son is of the age of 9, Rob's 9 or something like that, you go down there and take over because your friend is a warrior, not a king. I don't know. I just want to ask anybody, has anybody seen anywhere in the chat where Zach said, Scott, I can't come on, but I love you? I don't see that anywhere.
No. Never loved Robert's casting.
Well, physically, he doesn't look anything like what Robert should. But I think the actor did a fine job. Robert's 6'7"? He's a monster of a man. And now he's all fat and drunk. So he's huge. And this guy was, I don't know how tall, not that tall. and Robert had like, this jolly thing about him, but also fits of rage. So he did a good job. I just don't think, who would have been better at that time? Like, who could you have picked for a show that no one knew anything really other than Game of Thrones fans, or Song of Ice and Fire fans? Like, I think they got a really good actor for that role for something that wasn't big yet,
Yeah.
Yeah, Ned is a moron for trusting Littlefinger. Look at this. I like the actor just fine. Will he respond to me? Do you want to come on or not? God damn you. Go ahead, Teresa.
Oh no, I'm just saying what was the comment that you just had up there before? I like the bastard just fine. I mean, wait, did I say the bastard?
The bastard. That bastard.
The bastard. Now my brain cells. Oh, when Littlefinger was telling him,
right.
Yeah, don't trust me. Don't trust me.
Right.
He trusts him. And then he said,
right, like he wasn't saying that. You're so right. He's like, I told you not to trust me.
You dumbass.
And think about it. Like, Ned gets his head chopped off, but he doesn't. Like, your daughter is under this guy's like protection now, like in a sick, weird daughter-wife fantasy thing he's got going. Really messed up. He did respond. Did anybody else see it? I didn't see it. I think he's a liar. Sorry.
Oh yeah, every time he's responding, I'm removing his so you don't see it.
You son of a bitch. I didn't know. Did you really?
Prank.
That's
No.
awesome. Oh, okay, because I don't see him responding. I think he's a liar. Oh, Jane liked what you had to say. All right, so yeah, declining the. I don't think that's his worst mistake because he couldn't decline. You know. Oh yeah. What at my kids? Oh, that's cool. He goes, it's an autism thing. We actually have. I just love how you put that. I don't know why. We have a farm just like that down the road from us. It's for kids with autism and also people with special needs. It's so cool. It is like so cool how focused kids who don't verbalize or make eye, like how they get around animals, and like it's a beautiful thing. So I hope it's working, man. I really do. It's that's awesome. Yeah, Adam, Robert was terrible. Definitely. What did you put here, Grant? Declining the throne when offered the regency after King Robert's injury. Oh yeah, Ned declines favor of Stannis. This decision ignored the complex political dynamics, the need for immediate power.
Consolidation. I didn't have any more letters.
Yeah, I was like, do I not know that word? Who offered it to him? Was it Robert or was it it was like Littlefinger and Grand Maester. What was it?
Yeah, it was the small council.
It was the small council. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, from a certain point of view, that was the correct thing to do. Once again, his honor getting in the way. I mean, couldn't he have just taken the regency and then given it to Stannis later and been all honorable?
And that's what he should have done. That's
absolutely. If he had it, then when Robert died, he still holds that power until it's advocated. And if he says that's when he announces that this is what's going on. He has all the protection then from that.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he's running. He needed like the gold cloaks. He needed everybody, but once he had that, like I don't see anybody trying. They realized once he grabbed the power, he had it. He would have been able to do whatever he needed to do. Hold court, or actually, not hold court, like be a judge over, the bastards, over Cersei doing what she did. Real quick, this is for the lovely Sherry. This one goes out for you because Edwin hasn't been around lately.
First to know, my pronouns are so thank you.
That's for you, my friend. I actually had to switch over to a different account to do that. Yeah. All right. So not his biggest mistake, even though it seems like to be his biggest mistake. If you look at it quickly, definitely not his biggest mistake. He couldn't refuse a king. Probably should have took his whole family though. Well, I guess there always has to be a Stark in Winterfell. But I don't know. that's a tough one. Like, I don't think he should have took his daughters, and the whole marrying Sansa to a kid he's never met. Like, that's rough. I don't know.
It's rough, but she
You
was going to
can't
be the
deny it.
queen.
Yeah,
And that's one hell of a...
It's a hell of an honor.
Yeah, hell of an offer.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right, so number 9, I just said it. Taking his daughters to King's Landing caused even more problems. Okay, once again, Sansa, I understood he had to take. Arya, on the other hand, what did he think? It would make her more of a lady to go to, King's Landing instead of staying out in the woods in the north? I don't know, but I almost feel like he should have brought Sansa and maybe like Rickon.
Yeah, Rickon would have been a better choice.
Yeah. Well, and Arya was so young, it would have made sense for her to have stayed with her mother, especially once it was clear Catelyn was going to go. I don't recall if it was mentioned in the books what the reasoning was behind it, but yeah.
Oh, sending the girls?
Yeah, if they might have talked about it, I just don't recall, and I
think it was because, there are 2 girls, and it's easier to... Well, one, he wanted Arya to be more ladylike, so he thought being in, the capital would have more, less likely for her to get into mischief out in the woods and stuff. And also, I think in a way it was because they are girls, and you can kind of, maybe a big house from the south, wants the second daughter, something like that. I mean, they're just pawns, really. I know he doesn't treat them like that, but they are. But, on top of, and they'll probably put this on the list, not backing his daughter on the trip down, realizing what happened in that moment when he had to kill Lady. Like, he should have been like, all right, I'm at least sending Arya back. We're not there yet. I could do this. Like, she already, punked out the prince, so he is definitely not going to be her friend. Like,
yeah, 100%. I never even thought of that, but yeah, that would have been the perfect time.
Yeah, perfect time. I sent her back. She caused too much trouble for the royal family. I apologize. Blah blah blah. Send her home.
Come back when you're a lady.
Yeah.
I think he still underestimated the fact that they didn't care about children.
Right.
Probably maybe thought, well, she's a child, so they won't. It's like, no, they don't care. They'll kill a child as quickly as they'll kill someone else.
Right. Long John, Don Johnson, Grand Piano. I agree 100% too. He trusted...
That's an old fucking meme. Jesus.
He trusted Littlefinger over Varys. And he already knew, Littlefinger's history of being a dirtbag. But yet, the idea of... I think it's because Varys was a eunuch. He didn't trust him. He wasn't a man. And I think Ned had, that side to him. I ain't trusting this ballless dude. Yeah. Jane says... 9, yeah, court life was more ladylike in his opinion. It would give the girls some culture and class, but it goes to show how little he understood. Absolutely. Maybe, again, like you guys were saying earlier, or Teresa put perfectly, maybe in a different time, court would have been, amazing for them and help them grow as people. But this, you could already tell with the group they brought up and going back, it's so disorganized. It's so just to the whim of Robert. I wouldn't want to put my girls in that position. He's very I'm doing this right now and we're doing that.
And he doesn't even know how to do a proper, royal hunt.
Mm-hmm. Now, could Ned have gotten away with not bringing any of the kids? Or would that have seemed inappropriate? I mean, even with the marriage proposal, they were still young, a little young. How old was Sansa at the time? 12?
I think she was 13, maybe 12.
Yeah.
She hadn't had her period yet.
Right. That is true because they talk about that. All right. Yeah, you're right. Let me just check some. Why don't you talk, Grant, about something?
Oh.
Sorry, what's up?
I was just saying talk about something while I look up Sansa at the beginning of the book.
something.
You do realize you've now got a Google search history on your computer about when she started having a period?
I did not put that. I put Sansa at the beginning of Game of Thrones books. Let's see.
When was Sansa blooded?
Oh, good gosh.
My wife's making fun of me laughing at that, but that was wrong. Let's see.
Well, it was a thing because that meant, okay, she can have kids, so let's get her married.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah, they were keeping like an
old enough to bleed, old enough to breed.
Oh. Yeah,
well,
anybody in the chat know, because I'm not going to find it. But I think she was either 12. I don't think she was 13 yet. I think she was like 11
maybe she
or
was
12.
12.
You don't know, Mrs. Spork.
Everybody Google.
Google, people. We're so delayed, I think, that they'll find out later. Aw, Boosh saying hello to people. Not us, but others.
Gosh, look at this picture.
I don't know if you guys can hear Mrs.
So
Spork.
Sansa was mentioned. She just had her 11th birthday in the 3rd chapter of the 1st book.
Oh, God.
There we are.
So she was barely 11. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys... My wife is like... What would you call it? Peanut gallerying me. She's over the corner. Yeah. She's like the old guys in the Muppets.
So is this the time that we can talk about how often you use the hard R, or...
I don't use the hard R. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Oh my gosh.
How did that start? Because I'm ignorant, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, there's even a song about it.
Yeah, there is a song about Scott's not racist, he's ignorant. Number 8. He retraced John Aaron's doomed footsteps. I think that's another thing. He just followed the same path. He followed the same path. Like, I believe it was John Aaron going to Littlefinger and finding out about, the history of their, I think maybe going to Littlefinger, then going to Grand Maester and finding out there was a book with the history of the kings and seeing that Robert, all the Baratheons are dark with hair, no matter who they marry. Their kids have dark hair. And then, boom, Cersei's kids are all blonde. What up? I'm going to read a little bit of this one. Ned's curiosity of what truly happened to John Aaron led him to seek a trail of justice, even though he didn't necessarily know where it would lead him. Retracing the former hand's steps ultimately secured his own death as he stuck his nose into business that had just been covered up. Right. Because at first, did he even question he was murdered at first? Who told him that? Was it Varys or was it Littlefinger? What are you laughing at?
Oh no, it was a letter.
Oh yeah. It was the letter from Catelyn's sister.
That Catelyn got, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I blanked on that. Ned eventually discovered the secret that John Aaron died for, knowing that Cersei Lannister's children belonged to Jaime Lannister and not Robert Baratheon. And yeah, the cookie crumbled after that. I mean, I don't think if any smarter man could have followed those steps and been fine, actually came out on top. He just screwed it all up, by announcing it to Cersei before announcing it to the world. Because I don't know, did he believe Robert was going to live long? Right?
I don't know. I honestly...
Oh, wait a minute. When he told... Okay, good question. When he told Cersei, did Robert already go on the hunt, or was he actually at the hunt? Like, I can't remember if Robert was already injured. I don't think he was.
Yeah, because he was giving her the heads up because Robert would have her killed.
Yeah, he was still on the hunt, and he was going to be gone a couple more days. So he gave her that time while he was on the hunt to get the kids and get out.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. All right. So
and was dumb enough to think she would take advantage of that. It's like, oh yes, I'll go ahead and leave because he said so.
We're one of the most powerful houses, also. We're, we are the wardens of the West, I think they are. I don't think they would go quietly, and he's kind of dumb for thinking that. All right.
Well, and underestimating a woman's plotting.
True. Ned Stark's a sexist. All right. They have for number 7, resigning as the king's hand left Ned vulnerable and prone to attack from Jaime Lannister. Now,
Yep.
trying to remember how it goes in the book, because the injury wasn't from Jaime's.
He fell off a horse, didn't
He
he?
fell off a horse.
Yeah.
right?
No, it wasn't from Jaime. No.
Yeah, I hate how they
Yeah.
changed that. But Jaime did, come at him, but it wasn't. I don't remember exactly. Man, from the books,
Yeah, it wasn't a
read
big
that
old
book in a long
fight or
time.
anything. They
Right.
probably just wanted to show off the actors to give them a chance
Well,
to have
yeah.
some action.
Right.
Well, not only that, they killed Ned's right hand man as well in the series.
In the series, yeah. But in the
Yeah.
books, it was more he was pissed about Cat taking Tyrion. Right.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
why
it was confronting him about what she did. Yeah.
I am muted. Okay. Shut up. My wife is just
Yeah, I do it
laughing
all the
at me
time.
and stuff. Okay. I'll see you in a little bit, Mr. Spork. Oh man. Yeah, so this I don't think is actually as bad. But he did resign, which was dumb. Even though I don't think Robert ever accepted it, even though he screamed something out, he didn't accept it. Because I remember he's like, "You put that thing back on." So yeah, is this a book thing then? I don't know. That doesn't seem like a book thing.
I think people get them confused, or people pretend they've read the books and only watch the shows.
Yeah, because I remember he, it was the book and the show had it. He was pissed that Robert was still going after Dany because Robert's like, oh, she's married, Dothraki with a Khalasar. They're going to attack. I mean, Robert was kind of smart. She'll probably come for Westeros, and he was pissed about that. So that's why he quit. But they made up pretty quick, so I don't think that was that big of a thing. Yes, he trusted Littlefinger despite the man himself advising him against it. We already talked about that. Pretty freaking dumb. The dude fought your brother for your wife's hand. I think you might, I don't know, not trust that guy.
If you get sliced up the chest, sometimes this might be just me. You might hold a grudge.
Yeah, not even, with the guy who's already dead. Like I would hold a grudge with the whole family.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was dumb. All right. He sent valuable men away to pursue the mountain. Yes. But again, he didn't. Those weren't all trusted men. Let me think. Who did he send? He sent, Dondarrion. Let me see. Who did Ned send?
Everybody Google.
I can't remember because I know he sent like 50 of his own house guards, which was dumb.
Yeah. He basically said, "Come and get me, kids. Look at me.
Right.
I'm vulnerable." I fell off a horse too. Woohoo!
Yeah, right. I'm limp and everything. I
Can't
don't
even
need
walk.
anyone.
Yeah.
What a moron. Yeah, it's sending his own.
Yeah, I hope he survives.
Yeah. I love when you like Google this stuff, you find like funny, like cool, like if Ned sent Loras instead of Beric Dondarrion, what would have happened? I just want to know who he sent. Maybe.
What are you stuck on?
I think he sent 50 of his own men, and then I just can't remember if he did.
What,
Right?
back? Because he sent his men back.
Well, no, he sent 50 of his men with Beric Dondarrion to hunt down the mountain. Then he also sent some men with Catelyn. Like he was dwindling his own house down. Anytime something happened, he offered his own house guards. Because I think he brought like 100 guys with him, maybe? I don't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
If anybody in the chat does, let us know. Long John, Don Johnson, Grand Piano says, Ned raised his children with strong moral values, but did not adequately prepare them for the political and strategic realities of Westeros, leaving them vulnerable in a world of deceit, and power play. And I agree. And I almost think
But
it's
you can't teach what you don't know.
right. And his father would never have taught him this because his brother was going to be the Lord, of Winterfell. And he would either have gone and, maybe started his own house or took the black like his brother did, or, something else. So he was never taught it himself. And I think when it comes to stuff like this, even though she may not have been also involved in, down in King's Landing, I think from her time in her father's court and other things, like Catelyn was smart enough to be savvy enough to maneuver through this, and he just wasn't. So
20 of his men. Sorry to sound it.
So he only sent 20 of his men.
20, yeah, because the other half of it was Baratheon soldiers.
Okay. All right. Still dwindling his guys down. Not a good idea. But that is good. I should have probably it probably said it in this article. But they say Ned's lack of support and manpower left him vulnerable when he pulled the trigger on confronting Cersei and Joffrey about the rightful heir to the Iron Throne. He put his trust in Baelish and the Gold Cloaks, but they betrayed him, of course. Number 4 was Ned. Well, we already talked about this pretty much. Ned confronting Cersei about what he was going to do and giving her days.
Yeah, so what could be above this then? What's 3 more? Like,
right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. Biggest mistake he's made. I mean, the minute you heard Robert was injured, like you should have pounced and then explained it to Robert afterwards. And you know what? He was so worried about those kids getting murdered. What about your own kids, man?
Yeah, you dumbass.
He didn't think once about them. That's the problem, because he didn't think for a second that they would be in danger, because you're like, I wouldn't put someone in danger like that.
Right. Right.
Yep. Thought too much of the way he would looked at the world rather than the way his enemies did, and that's what made him wrong.
Yeah. Vulnerable. And he just never looked good down in the north or south anyways. Always looked sweaty. Wearing those northern clothes. What a moron. All right. So, number 3, I already said this one. And again, we can't really hold this against him. He dismissed the deserters' warning about the White Walkers. I think he'd never, in his mind, a man will say anything to try to, not be executed. So try to save himself. So I can understand why he didn't. And again, I think that warning was more for us than, for Ned Stark to know that the White Walkers were back. Though when you read that chapter and like how the guy's responding, how he looks, you might want to like hold off on chopping his head and maybe give him a few days and then talk to him.
Oh, it's right. He offers him a flask of wine.
He does. You want a swig? Here, have a swig. Yeah. Very true. Bad Takes Bojan says, I understand that Ned was a second son, but not preparing more than one son to rule the house is crazy. Yeah, that's true. The old phrase even says it, an heir and a spare. Yeah, that I blame his father on that. Because Ned was how old when his dad died? He was late teens, early 20s when that whole thing went down. They were not like as old as, even at this point, Ned was only in his 30s. I mean, they aged up everyone greatly. Ned was only 30 something when he went to King's Landing. So,
yeah. But at the risk of sounding like I'm contradicting myself from what I said earlier, that Ned, maybe they felt like they had prepared Ned because Ned knew how it all worked. He just didn't know how to fight dirty. And that maybe even his older brother wouldn't have known how to fight dirty.
Well, see, his older brother was more reactionary. I think, the minute he thought he was going to get screwed, he would have just started killing people. That's how he was the wild wolf, Yeah. So I think Ned was more, like you said, he was quieter. He kept to himself more and really was thrusted to the role and had to learn on the job experience. You would think though, like before he left, like the maester he has, I just had it. the Maester of Winterfell, even though he was a Tully Maester, came with Cat, you would think he would have gave him, like Ned, I know you're great ruling the North. Everybody loves you. Yay. The South is something completely different.
Lewin? Lewin?
Yes, Maester Lewin. He was pretty smart dude. So I don't know. Adam Price says, unreasonable request from Robert. Selfish, really. Robert had earned so little friendship over the years. He had to call up his old high school bro, for a hand. Because everybody else was a Lannister, pretty much. Even his own brothers were outnumbered. So I could see that. Orville Nation in the house. PJ. You guys aren't subscribed to PJ. If you're watching me, you're most likely are subscribed to PJ. But if not, I think you're a mod, Page. Throw in your channel so people can check you out. Because I guess now in the description, when I put people's channels, it doesn't work. So I don't know why. So we'll skip this. I think this is the one that I don't think should be on the list. How, no one has seen a White Walker in thousands of years.
We're not talking about 100 or something or 200.
Right.
We're talking thousands.
Tens.
To the point where people don't even believe that they exist anymore.
Right. They were they were a story. They were a story. Like Bran the Builder. They might talk about, we're related to him, but in all actuality, they probably thought he was fake too. You know what I mean? This was before the Age of Heroes. I want to say White Walkers, then the Age of Heroes, if I'm correct. Or was it Age? I don't know. I think that's the way it went. So this was over 10,000. It's a 10,000 year thing.
It'd be like unicorns. It's right. If there even were unicorns.
Right.
Unicorns are happier.
They are.
Just saying.
unless they're cannibal unicorns. You got to watch out for them. He threatened to take the new king Joffrey into custody. I thought he said that. That was when did he tell them that? Upon the king's death, Ned tried to imprison Cersei and the newly crowned Joffrey. In the process, he stated that Joffrey was illegitimate and that Stannis Baratheon was the true heir. Ned then handed his written proof of Robert. Yeah, that was dumb too, handing it to Cersei. You have the king's own words and she just tears it up.
Yeah.
And Joffrey being Joffrey, right. He didn't know the truth behind Ned's words and had him arrested. And then even though everybody worked it out that he would take the black, Littlefinger, once again, whispering in the king's ear and a little shit cut his head off. So, Ned should have probably tried to do that maybe a day or two before. Ned could have been proactive by siding with Renly's plan. You guys brought that up before. I think that was Gene. I didn't even think of Renly's plan. So one of you want to talk on that. I think that was a smart idea.
I'll be there in a second.
Yep.
But not his worst.
Yeah. I mean, when Ned began making plans to help crown Stannis as Robert's successor, many of those he told were against the idea. One such was his youngest brother, Renly. With his brother on his deathbed, Renly proposed to Ned that they take Joffrey hostage and instead allow him to take the throne. Now, Ned being Ned was all about, and not just honor, but rules too. And, he wouldn't side with Renly because Stannis was the true king. And if he did, it would have been a war. He knew that, so I don't know if this was that bad of an idea. That's a tough one. It's not about dishonor. It's about
There's no way in the world he would have. His plan was foolhardy to begin with.
Yeah.
But
him saying it was treasonous,
Yes.
That was dumb. But
because what happens is the information that he has takes the treason out of it.
Right.
Because it's a battle of legitimacy then.
Right. The problem is it would, even if he sided with Renly just to get control, Stannis would never forgive that.
Be right back.
Yeah. Stannis, no matter what, would never forgive that. So in his mind, even if Ned explained why he took his side, Stannis you're an oath breaker, or you're
Yeah.
whatever. So it would have, he, in his mind, I think he realized if he sided with Renly and did this, it would have caused a war. So I can't think of that as a bad decision. At the moment, yes, I understand you could think of it that way, but I don't think it was.
Yeah.
Look at that.
He should have at least kept to the spirit of the whole thing and said, listen, everything's gone tits up. We need to
Right.
we need to improvise, kids.
Yeah. If anybody else out there has an idea of why they think like a worse idea from Ned, I personally think killing the dog, killing Lady for what Nymeria did, realizing when Jon explained to him, like, look, Lord Stark, there's 3 male dogs and 2 female dogs, the same as your kids. It's, your house sigil, the gods gave these to you. And then on top of that, gave a quiet one, a silent one to your so-called bastard. Like, killing that dog is first killing the sigil of your house, but also, like, Ned Stark is a man of belief of the old gods. Like, that is dumb.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
There was, I can't remember the theory was that was the punishment. Everything bad that happened after that was punishment from that.
I don't doubt it. Like, Ned Stark was somebody who kept to the old gods and even did things he didn't realize he was doing. Like, he would always, after a beheading or a battle, anytime there was blood on ice or one of his swords, he would clean it at the heart tree in front of the weirwood. And he was literally giving a sacrifice of blood to the weirwood, which we all know that's what the weirwoods want. They want blood.
Yep.
Like when you look
well, they
at...
should stop crying it out of their eyes then.
Yeah. Like Bran had that, those flashes of the past when he connected to the weirwood tree and he sees a, sacrifice. So, like, in a way, that was what they did. And Ned didn't even realize. So he always followed the old gods, even to a fault. And I think they did take that as a slight. The idea that he would kill a gift he gave his, that they gave his children to protect them. And look what happens to Sansa. Like, she doesn't, can you imagine if Lady did get, I don't know how, between when they left and when everything went down, the dog was at least probably like a year and a half. So it had some size to it finally. It would have been able to protect her somewhat. I don't know. That's, what do you think, Teresa? Anything on that one?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, all of that. I'm just having memories. I'm getting a bit of the feels hearing you say it like that. And
I should do the books.
Yeah.
See, I gave you the feels with my way of saying it, right? No, just kidding.
Well, no, yeah, well, yeah, Lady. That was the direwolf. That was the first direwolf to die. Oh,
yeah, and it's terrible.
Don't even get me started on, Rob's.
Oh yeah,
direwolf.
Rob's Grey Wind. That's terrible. But even worse is Lady. And people are like, "Why do you think that?" Because Lady literally came to him knowing what was about to happen. I think. And still obeyed him.
Well,
there's
the connection between them.
Yep.
Yeah, so they would definitely know that. Not only that, I mean, the Starks, they would know what the animal would be feeling and everything. Like, they'd be able to sense it.
Yeah, but again, who was the last, warg of the Starks? Like that.
It was Eddard when he got beheaded. He's flying around as a crow.
He was flying. I think it was a pigeon. But who was the last one that actually someone saw, like, knew that they were a warg? There was, many centuries where proto Starks and then Starks were wargs, and people knew that. I mean, the Boltons used to hunt Starks to wear their skin to try to get their magic. So, like, who was the last one in the Stark line? How long ago? So Ned might not have even really realized there was a warging ability in their bloodline. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I can't blame
he
him
might
on
not have
that.
known. That's true.
But allowing allowing them to kill the wrong direwolf, I think that was terrible. I would have kicked her in the ass and chopped the wolf's head off. I would have brought back a stag and threw it down. Head of a stag and been like, what do you think about that, Baratheon?
Damn.
Yeah, that would have been dope, though. Think about it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so these are some other mistakes. I think this is huge. Not telling Robert the freaking truth. Like, once he found out, I understand you're scared he's going to kill the kids. That's your king and your friend. And you don't tell him right away. I think that is a huge mistake on his part. I didn't share this. I'm sorry. Let me get that up there so you guys can see what I'm looking at.
Oh, I thought you
I
were
mean,
just
you're
pulling
right
this off the top of your
about all
head.
the
I was
reasons.
like, what, you're getting good.
Well, I pulled this one off the top of my head. The other one was off, or this one out of an article. The other one was off my head with the dog. All right, go on, Teresa. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, I mean, you're absolutely right that it was terrible that he didn't do it, but it would have been horrible. I really think Robert would have just blood everywhere. I mean, it would just been a massacre, and he didn't want that to happen. I don't know what he expected was going to happen, because eventually he would have to tell him.
Right, but he wanted them to have a head start. Like, he would hunt those kids down to the ends of the earth anyways. And I'm sorry, he's your king. He is the king. And when you found this information out, just like John Aaron, you should have told him. No matter what the consequences are, even if you thought he might kill you for just giving him the news, that's your king. In a monarchy, this is how you roll, dog. Do that shit.
Yeah, this is not a representative republic.
Yeah.
Suck it up, bitches, and
suck it up, bitches. Do your thing.
and,
you didn't
and
vote.
obey and kneel before your king.
Yes, kneel before Rob.
Yeah, damn right.
You doesn't have to say so. Kneel before Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one.
Kneel before Rob. I like it.
It sounds like something you'd hear at a fraternity.
Oh dear.
Oh God, that's not the type
that
of
got
fraternity
serious
I want to be
fast.
in. Yeah. Adam Price wants you to know he thinks a unicorn is a horned rhinoceros. Now, I would like to see what the unicorns on Skagos look like in this world. I'll blow me up for a second. So, oh God, I'm hooked on my own chair. Sorry. All right. The north is here, and that little island way up there is Skagos, and they say they have unicorns. I kind of want to see that. I can't wait if we get the books to see what when Davos goes there, because he's going there to get Rickon for the Manderleys. I would love to see what that looks like.
Badass.
Jane Theory says it's like Graham Hancock talking about the Great Flood. That is a legend for many people the world over, right? There's hundreds of cultures that have a flood myth, and it all dates to about the same era because, like Graham Hancock believes, during Younger Dryas, around 11,600 years ago, a comet impact hit the northern ice sheets, I'll say.
Killing all the White Walkers.
Yeah, over the over North America, and maybe even over the one over Europe, and caused, melting like that, which 2 miles deep of ice would flood a lot of would make everyone feel like they were flooded, because most people lived on the coast. So, Graham Hancock, if anybody knows him, Midnight's Edge, Nerd Erotic, maybe talk to him about being on my show. That'd be great. Thanks. Let's see who else. Ned followed appeasement policy, not a good plan. Zax is correct. I'm sorry, my computer's so slow. I don't know if I actually brought up Zax yet.
No, it's StreamYards.
I hate StreamYards, man.
Yeah.
But you're right. What did they do to it that caused it to be shitty like this?
I don't know. It's like they got it drunk. Bastards.
I like Adam Price says the gods should have gave Ned a wolf too. No, that's the whole point. it was about his offspring. It was about that next generation of Starks. We're going to be the Starks of legend. Like, and he should have saw that. I mean, Jon gives it to him straight. Like, how isn't it the gods that gave him to you when there's no one ever sees direwolves north or south of like the wall, really, and you have 3 male and 2 female direwolves that you find first, then a third, 4th male for your bastard. And what killed that direwolf? It has a stag's horns stuck in its ribs. Like, that wasn't like some type of foresight, some type of
foreshadowing.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Come on, Ned, you moron. I don't know.
What a dickhead.
Yeah.
Also, isn't it weird that a dragon was gifted a wolf?
Wait a minute, say that again?
Isn't it weird that a dragon was gifted a wolf? Well, one of them's Targaryen, so.
Right, but he was half Stark. If we don't even know if that's true yet. Okay?
Yeah, mention if that bastard changes it.
This is the thing. We were told by George it was real because that was their litmus test to see whether they could get the series or not.
Nope, he never said what he asked them.
Well, he said that he asked him who was the father.
Oh, no, who was John's?
Who's John's parents?
Yes.
Right. But they never gave up. None of them ever said the answer.
But then why would
Now,
they put that in the show if that wasn't the thing?
Because they suck.
I was
Those
going to say,
dudes
because they're
suck.
so prideful, because they wanted to do their own thing.
Right.
Once
You never
it was-
know.
oh my gosh, wouldn't that be the best prank
Yes.
ever? Hell
Like,
yes.
George, think about this. George asked them, who are John's parents? Now, most people will say Rhaegar and Lyanna. And he probably was just, he didn't say, like, I never heard them once say he said we were right. He smiled and was like, all right, I'll work with you guys. Because that's what he wants us to think. He wants us to think it's Rhaegar and Lyanna. There's a good chance it's not. I know a lot of people think that's stupid nowadays, but
So it turns out that Ned is actually a massive whore.
Well, yeah, it's that one chick that he always got pissed off. Is that the name you said? Yeah, I forget it.
Oh God, the Morning Star is Dane.
Yes.
Her first name is Hottie Dane. Yeah, super hot Dane. What's her name? Shit.
Because
No,
why
anyways, she was smoking hot.
else would Ned have gotten so mad at Catelyn for saying it and forbid her to ever talk about it again?
Well, it wasn't even. Was it Cat? Yeah, he said she couldn't and I guess there was like a couple cleaning ladies or something that said it, and
some
after
servants.
That, he had to talk with them too. That shit was done.
Yeah,
God, what's
so-
her name? I can't remember her.
Unless
first
there's
name.
another secret that
Shut
has to do with that, which has nothing to do with the parentage.
Danny is the offspring. Yep.
Oh, that would be
Well, I hope they
really-
hooked up then, if that's the case.
Well, Danny is Ned, and anyways, or Ned and Ashara's son is actually Aegon.
Viserys. Oh.
No, Fagon. Because there are Danes could have purple eyes. Danes do have blonde hair. So let's just say could be a Dane, not a Blackfire.
Oh.
What? Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, but why? That would be like, oh, your parents are nothing.
Well, I can't wait to find. Well, because Ned had to go back and marry Catelyn Stark. He knew what was up. I mean, put it this way: he just killed Arthur Dane, right? And returns, goes to Starfall, goes to the Dane's house with a newborn baby, a milk, mother, but we don't know who she was. We never find that out. And the sword of the man you just killed, because he's not dead. And they treat him like gold. And then name one of their kids after him. But yet she commits suicide.
Oh, which one?
It's Edark's Dane. I forget his name. I think it's Edark Dane. I think he's a Dane.
I need my notes.
Because he meets Arya. And he oh, you don't know this about your father? Yeah. I think it's Arya. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he meets Arya. but he's a Dane and like was shocked that Arya had no clue about like the story of Ned and Ashar. Purple Eyes could suggest something. Something. What? I don't know what you mean, but it's
Well, especially after they turned out to be such PRICKSs, I really hope that Martin fucked with them.
I'm with you. Look,
Danny kind of forgot.
Danny forgot about the most formidable. I said formidable navy in the world, dog.
Realistically, the only industrial navy.
Yeah, really, and like she just forgot they were around.
I like how like, between one episode it's just like, oh, there's like 60 scorpions. That's no match for a dragon. And the very next scene in the next episode, one dragon's taking out double the amount.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's dumb, dude. It's stupid. Using his position. So what is this one? Ned Stark was loyal to King Robert, but he didn't seem to fully grasp the power of his position as Hand of the King. While he did not have the power to overrule the king's demands, he could have persuaded his old friend to put people on the council who were trustworthy. Yeah, I mean, Ned never pushed. I would have been like, dude, get rid of these guys. You know, like, let's switch somebody with Littlefinger and see if the books are right. And let's, because he started realizing, like, how much are we in debt, this and that. And, he should have got more people he trusted. Maybe some Riverland lords or somebody he trusted, Erie lords, somebody outside of the North, but yet he also trusted as, master of ships and this and that.
Tyrion did more in one day than Ned did his entire time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Okay, the John Aaron footsteps one we went through, trusting Littlefinger we talked about. Let's see. Confronting Cersei, so everybody's on the same page with this.
Confronting Cersei has to be the biggest thing. Like,
yep,
there's no other.
That has to be number one. Yeah.
Yep.
Because to probably clarify it as a mistake, it's if you didn't do that, the circumstances would change.
Yep.
And you can't take things that are in that was a conscious choice that he made, knowing the consequences, and then chose to do it. Going to King's Landing instead of refusing it's a no-brainer. You're not going to refuse your king, and if you did, it would probably remove you as Warden of the North. Like there was huge consequences in that. If he didn't do that, I would put that down as a mistake. But yeah, there's no way in the world that's nothing is bigger than that, because everything else falls from that decision. That was when he decided to deviate from his own plan.
Yeah. I mean, even if Robert wasn't injured and came back, like, he gave her too many days to think of a plan. So, I mean, her father is a very intelligent, ruthless guy. Like, they could have murdered his whole house before Robert got back. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense that he gave her the warning. And I actually think the minute he heard Robert was hurt, they should have left whatever they had and just ran for Winterfell.
Yep.
He should have got above the neck and then made his announcement that this is the proof I got. Here you go. He's a bastard. The rightful king is Stannis. Send those birds out to everybody. But no way he should have stayed. The minute he knew Robert was mortally wounded, he should have been out of there.
I'm sure Cersei would have found a way to blame him for that too.
Yeah.
Or, as I said earlier, at least get the kids to safety, you dumbass.
Yes. That really pissed me off. Before he confronted Cersei, he should have had his girls out of there. That always pissed me off. I couldn't stand it. And we're still talking about the wargs with these guys, and they just like when Jane says exactly like I'm smart, so I'll take that. And she says everyone else knows because the Boltons still to this day talk about skinning. Yeah, skinning the Starks, absolutely. Zombie Box Review says that's what I said. Him going to Cersei, what a dumbass. 100%, man.
If he did send his kids off, and let's just say, for instance, everything else stayed the same. Like he was still killed, the treason and all that. Would they have gotten killed at the Red Wedding? Do you reckon she would have brought any of them there?
Oh, she would have left them at Winterfell.
She would have left someone. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, would the Red Wedding have happened? I mean, because the reason Rob goes south is for his sisters.
Yeah, true.
So he would never have gone south. He could have been pissed off at what happened, but I don't think he would have raised his banners. You know, his mother would have probably came in and like put a kibosh on that. So yeah, I mean, literally sending the girls home would have changed everything. Now, granted, would Kat been there, or would she be in the, still in the Eyrie with Tyrion? Maybe. But if Rob up north knows that she's safe there and the girls are home, he would have taken more counsel from some of the, Maester Lewin and the people around him, and most likely would have, put the bowmen, got Moat Caitlin or whatever it is, the one in the neck, would have got that, built up with the bowmen and some other, spearmen and stuff, called his banners, but just as a defensive thing,
I'm sure people out there have done fan fiction on these. I'm wondering if there's any worthwhile, like what if.
Well, I'm waiting for what's that guy's name that does the Star Wars stuff? The what if scenarios.
Oh yeah, that dude's awesome. Prism? No, it's not
Prism. Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
dude, that dude's awesome.
Hey, maybe you should do something like that for Game of Thrones.
Maybe I should.
Ooh, what if?
Like redo seasons, like, I don't know, 5. Well, yeah, maybe 5 through 8, and do it that way. I think people would watch that.
Yeah. What if Ned wasn't a dickhead?
Well, you just kind of do it. Yeah, I don't know. You just kind of
Stannis the Manus.
Stannis the Manus.
We would have gotten to see that.
Yeah, we would have. You know what? That's a great idea. I might do that. I'm just gonna run down this and see if there's any other stupid Ned Stark things. Nope. Everything was pretty much the same. I think that's another big one. Not going back. He had a lot of power in the North. I mean, the North is, granted, it's more, maybe not as populated, but the size of the North gives you such, I don't know, an advantage.
Well, the North is like the middle America, Midwest sort of thing, where King's Landing is like, the major cities. There's real power in that area.
Well, I know what you're saying, but like, I would put it even more. Let's say America, or, Westeros was, southern part was like South America. Going through like Panama and shit like that is the neck pretty much. And if you just funnel an army right, and when they're funneling up, you're just killing them. I know what you mean, like politically and population wise, Midwest, you're 100% right. Anything in the center of America is less populated pretty much, except for Chicago. That's for you, Tina. But like, if you look at the continents the way we have them, if Westeros was South America, the south part, like the neck is that thin. That is it's even thinner. Like you only have really the road going to Moat Caitlin to get through, or you are going through swampland where you're losing any heavy cavalry or anything like that,
And it's not like they'd be able to go to sea because they have iron ionites on their side, so as well. So
right, yeah. I just if he got his girls and let's just say he sent them above the neck, none of this would have happened. His murder would have been terrible, but you would have had the knowledge from.
It wouldn't have been a war-starting murder, though.
Well, not from the North, but if Rob and Kat send out word he was murdered because he found out the truth that Stannis is the rightful king and this is the proof, you know what I mean? Like, give Sansa the book and be like, go. Just you guys take her right now. You're my house guard. I trust
I
you
wouldn't give it to
guys.
Sansa. She'd screw it up.
Yeah, give it to one of your house guards. Actually,
Yeah, one of the
you know, give this to Maester Lewin when you get back. You know, maybe something like that. I think the Midwest is more like the Reach.
Yeah, probably true. Yeah,
That's a good way of putting it.
Canada is more like the North.
She
Well, at
put
least
loud.
geographically.
that's above the
Yeah,
wall.
That's
Yeah.
actually perfect. Yeah, the North is Canada. It's like the studio apartment above the good time.
Well, and if you keep going like east, and you go to the Middle East.
But what? Louisiana's Dorne. That's what my wife's grandmother calls it, Louisiana, because she hates Louisiana. I guess they live there. Like my wife's family has family down there, and her grandmother can't stand Louisiana. I don't know why.
Mardi Gras?
You know, she's mostly Native American too, so like it's not like a white thing, you know, like if anybody wanted to go there, she's not like a racist that I know of. Though she does hate everybody. She's an old cranky lady. I'm sorry, I'm putting too much out there. All right.
I know.
No,
The North is
the North is Alaska. Yeah,
Alaska. There we go.
I think that's like Alaska's perfect. I would say Canada. Maybe, you know, the Arctic Circle part of Canada is above the wall. I don't know.
So like Newfoundland and all that.
No, even above that, I would go. Like the Yukon. No, is the Yukon above that? I don't know. Who knows Canada? Except for Canadians, right?
Most of the Canadians live within like basically in the American border, essentially.
Like less than 100 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, like literally in the part of Canada that actually goes into America. That's where 80% of the population live.
Well, I know I've been to Montreal before, and that was not a far ride from Vermont. So it's definitely a lot of them are close. I mean, well, if you think about it, like, you know, one good thing about global warming is at some point, Alaska will have the best farmland. You know? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just mumbling now. But that was fun. I'm trying to think if we missed any. What would you guys say are your top three? I'll go first.
The only one that we hadn't really mentioned that I had in my list was confessing treason.
Oh, right.
When he confessed there. Because that gave Joffrey the justification.
Right. To
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But he trusted.
He did that to save his kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's even worse though, because like, okay, you admit to it, and then you know you're going to take the black, but your daughter is still engaged to that king. Like, that made no sense.
Maybe he thought she'd be safe. You know, if she was going to be the queen, maybe.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, there's no good.
I mean, he really believed he was going to take the black and get to see Jon and tell Jon the truth and spend the rest of his days up there. Like, you know.
But by the way, son, you're the rightful heir, and all my mistakes stuffed it up. So now we're going to die in this frozen shithole up here.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
But, you know, there's a chance you could become the next Lord Commander. Oh wait, they're going to make me that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Ned Stark, he would totally be the next Lord Commander. Yeah, that would be a weird one because I don't know why he trusted that would actually happen. Like, everyone that was in that process, you can leave Varys out of it, but like everybody else backstabbed him. And he's like, oh, so if I do that, you're going to protect my daughters, right? And, you know, I get to take the black. Oh, yeah, sure, I believe you guys. Like, yeah, I think that is dumb.
Maybe he felt like he had no choice, though, because he was a dead man anyways.
I would have, you could have tried a little something. Like, I would admit to it. Because if they killed him without him admitting it, like, you know, people believe Ned Stark is an honorable man.
Oh,
like,
yeah, you're right.
There would have been different houses that have always wanted to come after, you know, the Lannisters or even the Baratheons, take their chance. So, like, it's a big deal that he said he lied. Because then that squashes anybody having a real right to attack them. even Stannis, like if he died being like, no, I am telling the truth, that gave Stannis all he needed to attack, and probably more people would have came to Stannis's banner. I would have pushed like, okay, I want my daughters with, these people, taking them, none of your people. I want these people I know taking them north. And when I get a message that they are past the neck, then I'll admit to it, or I'll say that. But
you're right. You're right. Oh, but my gosh,
it's tough because you got to play the Game of Thrones. He didn't, so like we try to think of the simplest things for him, but really like he was in such a bad position. You really had to play that game. Like you had to make them think they were screwed if they killed you without him saying that. Like that's would have been his best bet. Like, oh, you're going to kill me? Okay, well, everyone's going to believe Stannis is the king. I would have played it right before I got my head chopped off. And do you believe he warged? Does anybody believe that? I'm going to put that in I'm going to put that in a quick little poll for the YouTubers. We also are live on Rumble, which I love the Rumble. I am 1 away from 400 on Rumble, so be very cool.
Oh, I just unsubbed, so now you're 2 away.
Okay, 2 away, you son of a bitch. Did Ned warg before? Would it be right before he got beheaded? During his beheading.
So what was the question?
I'm putting, did Ned warg during beheading?
Okay.
And it's just a yes or no. That's it. YouTube poll. I would love that he did, but I don't think he did.
I don't think so, because there was not any real foreshadowing, and he would have left it for how many books without letting us know or giving us really any hints?
That is a George thing to do, though, but you're right. He would have foreshadowed, but the making us hang for 4 books, I could see that, but he would have foreshadowed him having a dream of warging or, something like that. Like, which the other
otherwise it's kind of a Deus Ex Machina, not exactly a Deus Ex Machina, obviously, but something that just comes out of nowhere that just solves everything. That's like a bad aspect of storytelling. You have to put it in there.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, but like, because they've shown like with Arya when she did it with the wolf and that, and John to a certain extent as well. So
John
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
Right. I mean, we get a lot of foreshadowing with John going into Ghost.
No, literally, if they ever reveal it, what'll happen is he turned into a bird, and as he's flying down, he gets shot out of the air.
And he's eaten by Arya and their group.
Yeah.
It's something terrible. Yeah, no, that would have been a cool idea, but like, I don't know, he would have to take over Hodor or something, like, because there's, like, you would have to find a simpleton that you can control their mind pretty easily to take control, like, or he would just be that.
Well, the zombie version of the mountain.
I'm sorry, off topic once again. Zombie Box Reviews is 50 away from 5.45K. Like, you're passing me now. Everybody's passing me. God bless you, man. That's awesome. Please share your link. Let everybody know where you are. I'm so happy for you. And Walton and Zax and everybody. Wish my channel.
Mr. Grant Gregory.
Yeah, thanks, Grant. I mean, yes, Mr. Grant Gregory.
Well, feel better, Sporking.
I'm only 2,000 subs away from being 100,000 more than you.
You're son of a bitch.
That's true. Well, you're more than me, Sporking.
You know
there
what,
you
Teresa?
Are.
Once you beat me, you'll leave me too.
Gosh, wouldn't that be awful?
Hey,
no, I don't.
You used to have George on.
Huh?
Remember when you used to have George on?
I remember George. He was a good guy. He liked me.
Do you remember Culture Casino?
Oh, Culture. I mean, what's his first name? Yeah, good guy. Culture Casino. I remember him.
I almost said it out loud then.
I know you did. I was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. Even though I think he said it before. Yeah, there's a couple people that have been on that, left me, and that's fine. That's fine. You know who always came back? Teresa, Stig, Jane. I mean, I was always
John
surprised
talks.
Jane.
Oh wait, never mind.
I was always surprised Jane slummed it with us. Mark with a C, and the rest of us are bums, you know. But I remember I used to really that Culture Casino. What a good guy. But no, it's all good. There he is. Stig is right there. Hi there, Sporking and company. Hope you are well. You bastard. You left that out. You had the link, right? He did have the link. I shared it.
Yeah.
He
okay.
said he wasn't coming.
He's watching movies.
I just.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good. I just hate when I almost forget him. So.
No, we're in the chats.
In the chats.
Yeah. So
but good.
You can't forget.
So, all right, we're gonna do our each of us top 3 mistakes. I say, warning Cersei is number 1. Once Robert is injured, not either leaving with everybody or getting his girls out of harm's way, and not taking control right there and then. And then, kind of like also equal, I believe, to number 1 is killing Lady. What do you guys think?
I think Littlefinger's trusting Littlefinger was ultimately like.
Oh, they're all
when the most untrustworthy guy in there says you shouldn't trust me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. With
Believe
a
him.
smile. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science.
No. You turned off the lights. I was wondering.
Oh, it's Jesus. Oh wait, it's Ewan McGregor. I was getting mixed up.
There he is. What's up, Stig?
Nothing much. Just thought I'd pop in and say hello.
Because I can't hear anything.
For sure, hopefully.
Yeah, we're talking about Ned basically committing slow suicide.
Yeah, dead Ned without a
Oh my
head.
God, I'm having that issue that I had
Oh my
like
God.
years ago where I can't hear the person who just comes on.
Oh really? You just missed a massive zinger then.
Oh, man, he did a rhyme.
Yeah, it had a cool rhyming scheme and everything.
Are you kidding me? I can't hear
Why don't
you.
you leave and come back in?
Oh.
No.
I just heard him. All right. Now I hear
Hi.
you.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
up? Brother?
I did a pun rhyme.
Damn it. You redo it.
He said,
I said dead Ned without a head.
Okay. All right. I missed that. All right. Can I ask you a question, dead Ned without a head? Stig, what do you think is his biggest mistake? Ned Stark.
Not killing his bitch wife right after the wedding. Telling Cersei what he was planning to do or whatever. And maybe not informing Jon or someone else about Jon's heritage in the event of his passing. Maybe.
Right.
We don't know that, though.
Right.
mhm.
But I have a sneaking suspicion he might not be dead. But
You think he warged?
no, I don't think he warged. I think Varys did something.
Ooh, glamour.
Yeah, I think because Ned seemed kind of drunk when they beheaded him.
Right.
And they were not giving him alcohol, were they?
No.
Wow, so not only did he end up headless, he was also legless.
Yeah. So I think maybe Varys swapped him.
He could have. I mean,
Because Varys had
Put him in
those.
a box.
He had a bunch of rings, which seems to be what he uses to use glamour spells.
Yep.
So he basically has one disguise per ring, maybe.
Maybe. Right.
So it would be interesting if someone found out if he was missing a ring later on.
Ooh.
Because
I think
there
you
also
brought
was
that
another
up before.
prisoner.
You brought that up before, didn't you? Because I remember that you saying that. We couldn't remember if they ever showed him with one less ring. I forgot all about
Yeah, and when Sansa sees Ned's head,
Yeah.
they put tar on it, and she's thinking it doesn't even look like Ned.
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe because it isn't,
Right.
and they use tar to cover the fact that it isn't Ned.
Yeah,
Because
it was,
the head would not have the glamour, would it?
Yeah. No, it wouldn't. And it was W. It was George Bush. I remember that too. Yeah, that's a good one, man. I I was thinking about you today, Stig, because I shared the guys.
Really? You had sex again?
Yeah. Well, it's
my gosh.
twice a year, dude. It's always a good one. No, I was that was good. I was thinking of I shared the guys.
Just getting the time thing to send that to Mrs. Spork. So.
Yeah, I shared the YouTube this guy's YouTube thing in our DM, but he had a theory which isn't a brand new theory, but he went into more detail about it, that old Nan was really a glamored child of the forest, and maybe even Leaf. Interesting. It was an interesting theory.
Well, they do say that the children of the forest can travel underground,
and they can
right. And you have the crypts. You have the crypts of Winterfell.
Right.
So I'm not sure. I still think it's that. Lady from the short stories, though, with Duncan Egg having grown old. But
the one, yep, Lady Shiera Seastone or something like that.
No, I think that's Melisandre.
Oh, okay, right.
But yeah, the other one that Dunk has a thing for.
Right.
I think it's the third or the second one.
I think it's the second one where he's protecting her, like her house.
Yeah. But still, even if old Nan disappeared, didn't she? She hasn't been seen since before Theon took Winterfell. Right. So where the hell is she?
Right. Well, Theon took Winterfell.
She is Theon. Oh, I knew it.
Well,
that explains the lack of penis.
Well, the interesting thing about this, the guy's theory is like she does state like she her whole thing was to raise Bran Starks, and she finally got the right Bran Stark. But the guy said like Leaf, we're told Leaf is roamed the world of man for a little over 200 years. So he believed that she glamored herself into Nettle and was actually like sheep stealer's rider, and that's the dragon that's in the crypts. Because there's a part where Summer's having visions of the dragon.
Doesn't make any sense though.
Well, it doesn't, but it does line up if you, and his thought process, it does line up if the times. Like Nettle disappears, and then just a little bit later, Nan shows up in Winterfell, and she's working for Bloodraven 2, and Bloodraven, or whoever, because I still don't believe Bloodraven is the Three-Eyed Crow, but whoever gave them the idea that a Bran of Winterfell may be, an important figure, she was there 30 to 40 years too early because she raised like different brands. Right?
Maybe Nan is the one who's actually sending him some dreams now and again, because she's sitting next to him.
I mean, she's telling him all these stories too, so he's aware. But she
does
say
James,
never.
James nailed it.
She also, James. The idea is that Nettles is a child of the forest. Yeah.
Oh no, it's a different one that's up on the screen at the moment.
That could explain why they were going to cast all the original children of the forest as Africans. Were they really, or is that a joke?
Because
Nettle's supposed to be. Well, when they talk about children of the forest, they are like of like rusted leaf colors, so brown. Some are like yellowish orange, and Nettle is a brown girl. They say so. If you're using a glamour,
she's a Valyrian confirmed.
Well, she's a Valyrian confirmed, right? But if you're using some type of glamour, like the kid also said, maybe the glamour was Nan's knitting needles. I was like, I don't know about that, but the timelines are interesting.
I'm thinking that the glamour though might not make you change completely. So if you're a male using a glamour, you can only change into another male.
Right.
And so on.
Wow, so magic is transphobic in this universe. Good to know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting theory.
I'm sure it has limits, because all the magic in George Martin's work has limits, and it also comes with a price.
Yep.
So
that's why there's not a million smoke monsters going around killing people.
Right.
Because I don't think the faceless men can put on the face of a woman either. You have to be a female faceless man to put on the face of a woman. I think so.
How
But
dare
Arya-
you bigot?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
doesn't Arya put on Walter Frey's face? Oh, wait a minute, that's the show, right?
Yeah. His face and clothes and everything.
Yeah.
The faceless man also it includes the clothes as well, everything.
You're talking about Blood Moon or whatever. Right, you are right, because they do always say the children of the forest.
It's a dumb name. It makes me think it's a show all about periods.
That or
definitely a period piece.
It's like Bella before she becomes a vampire and gets her first period. Blood Moon. I know that watch the video. I did put it in our DM chat. It's interesting. It definitely is interesting.
Yeah. Well, even if it's wrong, it might have something in there that is spot on, but
that's
from a different direction.
Right. It gets me. What I like about listening to people's theories, it gets your mind thinking of a different direction. Like, oh, I never thought of it that way.
Well, we can bring her back in the What If audiobooks that we're going to be bringing out next week.
Yeah.
Here we are.
I don't know if Nan is a child of the Forest, but she definitely has been there to raise a Bran of Winterfell, and I feel like there is some connection with Bloodraven.
Get piss you off. You're one generation short. You're like, oh man, I was so close.
Yeah, like she was like, wait a minute, she actually came too early. She's like, how many Brans do I have to help?
It turns out it's like, no, it wasn't a Bran. It was a Brienne. And she went, oh shit, I wasted all this time.
God damn.
Did Bloodraven have several sluts?
The slutty sluts? No, he was just in love with his sister, Shiera Seastone, or whatever her name was.
Yeah.
There were
I'm
like
thinking
him
maybe
and it could have been
Bran might have been a royal
sister.
a royal
concubine.
Yeah. If it wasn't, but it could be someone practicing under him, like a student. You know, he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only reason him and Bittersteel always fought over the same sister.
Melisandre, though, fits with the Shiana Seastar thing.
Right, that is crazy.
I saw a little video about that.
Yeah.
So it looks like she went north, and then I think she saved Mance Raider. If it's the same person, because he got saved by a witch.
Yes.
And Melisandre does say she's more powerful near the wall, so she would be And I don't know. That theory had some weight to it, I thought.
Yeah.
Plus, Shiana Seastar keeps getting mentioned.
Right, and if he's still alive there, and she was also learning the dark arts with him, or magical arts, like they definitely both could be alive. I just want to say hello to Midnight's Oblivion. Good to see you. A lot of us believe Nan hooked up with Dunk, and I think George even said Hodor is a descendant.
He slam dunked her.
Yeah.
And made Hodor.
Hodor. Once again, I am one away from 400 on Rumble. So if you guys want to help me out, please hit that link and follow me over on Rumble, where we can talk about anything we want. And we do tomorrow night. It's going to become a show only on Rumble, is Aluminum Spork, where we talk ancient history or lost history and conspiracies and UFOs. So don't miss out on that. So the old Nan thing, I don't know if she's a child of the forest, but we have learned that children of the forest have used glamour in the past. Like if you look at, I don't know if she does, but what's the one that Jenny from Old Town is friends with? The witch that everyone thought died in the fire at Summer Hall, but ends up like helping the Beric Dondarrion's group.
Maggie the Frog?
No, not Maggie the Frog. The something on the hill.
Oh yeah.
Not the witch on the hill. The shit. Why can't I remember it? But you know,
Is it the ghost of whatever it was?
Ghost of yes.
High Hearts.
High Heart. Yeah, Ghost of High Heart. I believe was
that Summerhall?
What's that?
Okay, sorry, I was getting it mixed up.
Yeah, no, she was friends with Jenny of Old Town, who then Jenny of Old Town, Duncan the Small, I believe, falls in love with her, and that causes some of the Blackfire shit because he marries a common girl. But a lot of people say she may be a descendant, but I think she may be a glamored child of the forest. Like, who taught humans to glamour?
Another thing, you know,
wait,
that,
you think Jenny of Old Town?
No.
Or
Ghost of High
the
Heart.
ghost?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
given that this is, medieval fantasy and stuff, it's kind of, I wouldn't be surprised if he has like a hidden coven of witches in Westeros, that hasn't been revealed yet.
Bloodraven?
No, well, that George Martin has put that in the story, so you'll have these witches in the background pulling the strings a bit.
Right, in Westeros. Not like they're from Essos or something. They're from Westeros. I like that idea.
Yeah, local witches.
And we'll find out like Lady Dustin is one or something like that,
If the Norse mythology stuff is there, though, that they could be the Norns, which are 3 women that are spinning the fates of people.
Right.
That would fit with.
Didn't they just do that in Star Wars?
What?
No idea.
Yeah,
fake Star Wars.
I don't know. Yeah, fake Star Wars. Didn't they do that? It was the sisters that were with what's his name? What was that damn show? God damn it, I already forgot it. Ahsoka, yes. The big bad in that is the blue guy, and I'm blanking on his name for some reason because I didn't read Era of the Empire.
Fake Thrawn?
Yeah.
Thrawn, fake Thrawn. Fake Thrawn has 3 night sisters that like have names that go with like, I don't know if it's definitely like Greek or something, but it kind of is that same thing. One, they have like their like spinning web, and one is like the past, one is the future, and one is
they're named directly after the. There is a passage that I saw the other day. Their names are spelled exactly the same way, pronounced the same way. They have the exact same roles, the exact same history. So yeah.
They also added Praetorian Guards, which is straight from the Roman Empire.
Right.
So it's
right.
Like,
God,
they're very creative people.
Yeah, they really know how to do it. Yeah. Thank you, Midnight.
The one of the defining characteristics of Thrawn was that his eyes don't have pupils, so you can't tell where he's looking. In Disney Star Wars, they gave him pupils, so it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, they also made it seem like he really sucked at planning. Like it was so dumb. It was so dumb.
According to Rebels and the Ahsoka show, Thrawn is retarded. I mean, because all through the Rebels show, he basically lets the Rebels escape through very obvious ways of escaping.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Gargamel letting the Smurfs get away from him.
Right. But didn't he do that at least in Rebels to follow them? Like in Ahsoka, he just sucked.
Yeah, but then he fucked up again.
Right.
Yeah. So
like
it's just
instead of just dropping.
You were almost there, buddy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like right as they're about to catch up with him, he's like, "Yeah, gotcha." And he goes into light speed, but it's dude.
And then it's like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to you about how clever I am with art history now.
I'm so clever.
They escape again.
I'm so clever. I gave up my most devoted pupil to sacrifice so she could save me 3 minutes. That show was horrible.
Mm-hmm. The savior of Star Wars, who apparently won the Civil War now by joining KK.
Oh yeah,
remember those 2 years of the Civil War?
Yeah. Oh, it was the Civil War. Yeah.
Yeah. Quiet about that one now. It's like,
no, Steve, you're wrong. Jon Favreau is going to save everything. Stop it, Stig.
Yep.
Stop being you.
It's Favreau alone now on a hill.
I just remember it was like me, you, and like a couple others were like, after Mandalorian, like first episode, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this show. And we were attacked.
Oh,
We
yeah.
were-
Holy shit.
Nasty
Yeah.
attacks.
I just was like, they lied to us. We were sold a gunslinger coming into town and cleaning it up every episode. And we got, one man and a baby.
Well, in the first episode, they have Jawas on another planet than Tatooine.
Right.
They're native to Tatooine, and then
Yeah.
like the day after it aired,
Yeah.
Wikipedia edited. There's like a line at the bottom that, Jawas can also be found on other planets,
So
even though the rest of the stuff just says they're on Tatooine.
Oh God, so bad.
So it's like damage control typing right after the episode.
Oh man, I'm sorry. A lot of people liked season 1, and good for them if they enjoyed it. I thought it was I hated it. And I don't even know if I watched season 2 of that show. I can't.
Well, season 2 was where they put Jake Skywalker in, and people cheered.
Oh,
and fell for
Jake
it.
Skywalker, but Ahsoka knew Jake. That's right. Ahsoka is everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, the fun thing is, Ahsoka tells the Mandalorian to take Grogu to that column thing,
Yeah.
that shrine on the planet,
Yep.
and sit there and meditate to contact the Jedi.
Yeah.
And then, like
even
a
though
few episodes later, she knows where Luke is. She could have just sent him to Luke.
dude, waste of time. She's like, I just
Yeah,
wanted
she
to
just
see
put
how
him at
that-
risk.
Yeah. So
She
dumb.
wanted the baby to get kidnapped. She was a part of it, and when it didn't work out, she acted like Thrawn. Like, no, I meant to do that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you never know what Ahsoka thinks because
And-
she's just one note. There's no like.
She's the
I
queen,
think,
the queen of facial emotes.
dude, the one time she laughed in that series when, what's his name? She saw Ezra. That was the only time she like any feeling, like even your pupil that's mad at you. Both of you just like look at each other. Oh, that shows.
Well, it's not just that though. They have Baby Yoda meditate so that a Jedi will find them.
Yep.
And then he gets kidnapped and blah blah blah, and then Luke finds him on a space station or whatever it was.
Yeah, not at the
So you
circle.
didn't really need that column, did you?
No.
You could have just found him anywhere.
Or Ahsoka could have just been like, "Hey, Jake, totally got a young Yoda for you."
Yeah.
And the best, it didn't even work. He wasn't even gone for a full, not even a season. He came back in somebody else's show. So like if you watch,
If
season
you
2,
didn't watch Boba Fett,
right, you wouldn't know. You've been so lost because end of season 2, he leaves with Jake Skywalker, and the beginning of season 3, he's already back. It's like, wait a minute, what happened? And then you have to think of, oh God, Steam.
Well, yeah.
Gang, and that show is terrible too.
I never got that far, but I must admit I was one of those that liked the first season of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, much respect.
Yeah. Moments I thought at the time, and I wasn't aware of all the Filoni stuff because that just wasn't on my radar. And then when I was talking with Steek and Alora, she used to tell me that too, and I'm like, I had no idea.
There he is.
And then once I saw, I couldn't unsee. It's like, okay, all right, I get it now. This is shite, but I just didn't catch on at first. I was taken in by some of the shinies.
Well, you know what you were taken in by, and I don't blame anybody for liking
Tracking
that
fobs.
person. No, well, yeah, that was terrible. But like, it looked like Star Wars compared to what we've gotten from the prequels. It felt more Star Wars than,
yeah, because there was sand.
Yeah, there was sand.
Why?
Well, the other fun thing though is in the Mandalorian they're sitting and watching the second Death Star blow up, and the Empire has taken over Tatooine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, the Empire is the Republic. They don't have any presence on Tatooine, which is why they had to send a search team after R2 and 3PO.
Right.
Yeah.
And they had no. Yeah. I mean, if the Empire had Tatooine, they wouldn't have been able to have flown the Falcon down there and rescued Han in episode 3, right? Episode 6.
Of course, come on.
Right. So it's just nothing fits
Nothing
anywhere.
And I just love Long John, Don Johnson, Grand Piano saying So now it's a Star Wars stream. Ned's biggest mistake was not using the Force.
Yeah.
That's so good. If Ned just used the Force. Oh, that's so funny. And then, so I'm sorry, this is so slow, so I don't know if things are coming up. So Soul Assassin said they had Typhoon, the Jedi homeworld, in the mid-rim and not the center of the galaxy. Again, savior of Star Wars.
Yeah. They actually switched location for the planet between the Clone Wars and the Mandalorian. Filoni wrote both. He can't even stick to his own writing.
Well, you can't look back. And I know Bad Takes Bojan, they said that Grogu spent 18 months with Luke, but they had to tell us that. Like, the writers had to tell us that. And Jon Favreau didn't even know. He was like, yeah, it must have been like a couple years. He had no clue. I checked out after the second Disney movie. Adam Price said, yeah, you didn't miss anything. Don't worry, because we have a Rey movie coming. I could talk about this stuff for hours again.
Yeah.
I gotta get to sleep. I'm sorry. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for the A Song of Ice and Fire stream we just had. It was a lot of... Here, hold on. Let me get back on camera now that it's not lagging anymore. I really do appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys, thank you. This is like a small stream, but it's like I feel like family. Like, we know, like, this is us. The channel, like the chat, my panelists. Like, I just love this group.
Mr. Grant Gregory.
Oh, that guy.
Do you want to know a secret, Sporking?
What's that?
If you're having fun with it, you're doing it right.
Thank you, sir.
If it becomes a chore, you're not doing it right.
Well, you know what? You said that to me years ago.
Yeah, and you didn't listen.
I didn't listen.
Now you're fucked.
I know.
By your own doing.
I know.
Did you say you're a fucked?
No.
You said you're a fucked.
Well, I could be too. But, you know.
Always listen to the Viking.
I got to listen to the Viking. That's why, like, now it's like, I don't care if it grows. I enjoy on Mondays talking A Song of Ice and Fire. Tuesdays doing the aluminum Spork because I love talking lost civilizations and conspiracies and aliens. And then I let people run a Wednesday show on my channel because those guys have fun and they're great and it helps me out. And then Saturdays when I do the bitching again, because you got to bitch sometimes, but I love hanging out with those people like Mark with a C and Mr. Grant Gregory. And when Jane used to be able to come on and what's that guy's name again? A casino of some sort. And then Mad's there. So that's fun. But yeah.
Jane is my favorite bastard.
She's the best bastard.
Yes.
Her and Teresa. Best bastards. But thank you everybody. Truly, Soul Assassin always get my back with all the links. Adam Price and Long John, Don Johnson's Grand Piano and Midnight Oblivion and Andy. I just love saying it. And Andy and Mason and Jane, everyone. I can't scroll up right now because it's stuck, but thank you guys for being here.
Seriously, Sporking, this is where you lie and mention a bunch of celebrities in between.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, Gary will be on next week.
Yeah, Mark with a C, Denzel Washington.
Right. Yeah, thank you, Sean Bean, for stopping by. I appreciate that. That was
Elon
awesome.
Musk. Where would you be without Elon Musk helping you?
I mean, Elon, look, if it wasn't for Elon, I couldn't run my show on batteries. You know what I mean? And then you got Gary from Nerdrotic. Of course, I'll let you on next week. Right. And then, everybody else in the world of YouTube that I love so much and that supports me. And Zax, because Zax is a good dude. I wish he can come on more channels sometime. But anyways.
If he was a phony, though, he would be a saxophony.
Oh,
think about
zinger.
that.
I like that. Saxophony. Dude, actually, when I said it like that, it made me laugh even harder. Teresa, let them know where you are and what you do.
Oh, well, you can find me here on YouTube where I talk about what makes me laugh, makes me cry, and all that good stuff. I'm going to be doing Pub Crawl is scheduled. We're going to talk about classical music. Lady Balefire, she is my next guest.
She's cool.
Yeah, stay tuned with Lethal Lightning and European Lore, our upcoming guests. I'm also planning to do some streams about my rewatch of Harry Potter, the movie. So the goal is for Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone tomorrow evening. We shall see. And perhaps some more We the People, where I talk about our founding documents.
Teresa?
I know, I'm in
Harry
trouble.
Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Philosopher's Stone.
I know,
Yes.
I debated it, but I
There's
knew
no
it.
debate.
What is the movie though? What is it called?
Well, in
It's
America,
Sorcerer's Stone. I think
it's
it's both, right?
no, the
It's
movie.
Philosopher's Stone over here.
Yeah, they actually recorded 2 different
Oh,
audios. So every time they said sorcerer,
that's
they changed it to
right.
philosophers.
I'm sorry I made that mistake, Teresa.
It's okay. Well, Steve has already rebuked me. I knew it was coming the second he said something. But it's been really fun going through and rewatching the movies alone, and then I'll probably end up rereading the books, and then maybe doing some of that. So, and a
Well, if you
review
ever need a
of the
guest,
new
let me know.
letters, the new version of the letters of J.R.R. Tolkien that was just released. That's upcoming, as well as what do you call them? Sweet rolls from from Skyrim, and some of that caviar in a tube that Stieg sent me from Norway.
Very nice. Let me know down the road if you ever need a guest for the. I love Harry Potter, so just let me
sure.
know. I'll totally make time. Stig, say hi to the people and bye. You don't.
Well, I actually have a stream in 2 days.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, what
I have one of my monthlies with Mara, Jade
That's
Shadow.
freaking awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, I
we're doing
love her.
another one of
She's
our
awesome.
top 10s. Top 10 movies, top 10 favorite movies released in 1981. And then in December, we're doing 1982.
Dude,
so we're
very
going to
cool.
keep that up for, until
Let
she
me know
gets
when
fed
you-
up with me.
Well, let me know when you get to like 86 if you need a guest, because those are my years.
Well,
Yeah,
if
I
it's
want
once
to
per
see
month,
someone's going.
Sorry. I just said I'm offering myself to everyone like a whore. Sorry.
So
So when
you've
is that?
definitely got like American Werewolf in London on there, don't you?
no.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's
That was
I
81.
like it, but it's not a favorite because I actually recently watched it for the first time. But I think
so you
if I
think-
watched it
If you
back
watched
then,
it back then,
it
yeah.
would have been on
All
my
right, it's
list.
a good movie. So
Dude, that
Yeah.
movie
like
terrified me when I
Raiders
was
of
a
the
kid.
Lost Ark.
Yep.
And the
81's a
great
good year.
the Das Boot,
Das
Oh yeah,
Boot.
Das Boot. Yes,
the best submarine movie ever made.
Oh, I haven't seen
it's
that.
top 5.
I'll have to watch it. I like what's the one with Kelsey Grammer? Periscope down.
Up Periscope,
Yeah.
down Periscope.
All right, we
One.
got to go. All right, Grant. All right, so wait a minute, Stig. When is that? Is that Wednesday?
Yes, Wednesday at 8 Eastern, I think it is.
Awesome.
Yes, 7
Awesome.
Central, and Soul
Yeah.
Assassins after putting the Jade Shadow's YouTube in the chat.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yes, guys, check it out. It's always a good time when you stream, man. So, and Jade Shadow, she rocks. She's very cool people. So please, I highlighted the wrong one. There we go. Jade Shadow, right there. All right, let me know if it comes up. This thing sucks. And
did.
Grant, anything? Thank you.
Oh yeah, so make sure you tune into the Full Aussie this week. We've got some pretty good shows coming up. We got the clip show tomorrow, where I'll be going through with the panel some of the funniest videos from the week of certain things. Then we have the Full Aussie on the weekend, and then the week after that, on the Wednesday, I have a special guest Bearing coming on. So
Very cool.
it should be pretty good. Not every day I get to have someone that's got like 600,000 subs.
That is very cool, man. I want to slut myself out one more time. Last time and the only time I was on the Aussie show, I think I had COVID or I was sick. So I need a redo because I was terrible. So just putting it out there.
Do you want to hear something fun?
I always love hearing
when I had some shit on my channel,
Yeah.
and people said I should have like a store
Uh-huh.
with merch.
Yeah.
So I made this shit shirt that said top 5 or something.
Yeah.
And 4 people bought it, and 2 of them got COVID the next day after the shirt arrived.
Mhm. True story. I'm one of them.
That is
Yeah.
so funny.
So I just there's a 50% chance you'll get COVID from my merch.
That is all.
So I stopped.
That is so good.
That's crazy. I wonder what Walton's address is.
I know, right? We're going out, guys. Maybe turn down your volume a little because this music is loud. But this is Spork of Ice and Fire, done by the great Mr. Grant Gregory. Just a taste of it. Have a great night, everybody.
In yonder realm, where frost and flame do meet, the Sporking news, the tale so boldly read. Sir Grant Gregory will with valor in his quest, in lands where dragons and dark knocks do nest. Hark, hear the tales of fierce and bold.